It's going. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Nothing but gremlins today. Staying backstage. It's every time we get Tony on, this kind of stuff happens. I don't know what it is, why it is. They don't like him live streaming. Of course, he almost never live streams. So when he does live stream, it screws everything up. But yeah, good to everybody. Good to have Tony here, especially we never get Tony. Either Tony, really.
Yeah, I've not done anything with you guys for a while.
You're muted, Tony.
I'm muted now. My God, what is going?
No, the other Tony.
All right, this is getting confusing.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Tony, at all.
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
This is what it's been like the whole time.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, man, it's like StreamYard's just a pain in the ass.
Now it says you're muted, but Tony will work on that. He'll work it out. I got a little bit of an interesting.
There we go.
You back? Nope, still nothing. I got nothing from you.
Says he's unmuted.
It says you're not muted. It must be something with your mic. This is the kind of stuff we work out backstage. But Tony's just being quiet backstage, and we just assume it's just Tony being Tony.
Good now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But yeah, I know UK Tony. That's just the time difference. Plus, he's busy with the Wigan Film Cult Club. It's always a mess to me. It's like I think in my mind I'm like the Wigan Death Cult. That's what I want to say.
Everyone struggles with it. It's an absolute mouthful. The Wigan Cult Film Club. I could have chose something easier to pronounce, couldn't I? But yeah, we've been really busy. Hosting things, other things, cons, all kinds of stuff. Really, it's been the last sort of 6 months with this. It's just took off running. I never thought it would take off like it's taken off, but it's taken off massively. So we've been really busy with that.
Well, I mean, plus Tony's British, so these animals, they don't work over there. I mean, they work 1 day a week now. I mean,
shit, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's a constant break from all the rest over there. He's always on vacation or something. So just finding a day to do things. This is their Friday over there.
It is. Well, it's my Friday. It's my Friday. Not everyone's got the luxury of not having to work on a Friday.
It's the whole country. To me, it's the whole country. Friday, they're closed for business now.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had 10 days off work.
Yeah,
so
you know what I mean. So that's a once a year maybe for the real people on this side of the life.
Oh,
we maybe get 2 weeks a year, maybe.
Dude, mate, if I'm not doing that every 8 weeks, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a done thing, a given over here. Sort of national holidays and personal holidays and whatever else I can squeeze in. It's great.
What's a holiday?
Yeah, what's that?
See, you Americans don't know what you're missing. You know what I mean? Get over to the UK.
I don't know. I think we have to keep working, or all hell would break loose.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
we would descend into something else. It wouldn't. Our time off would be used for nefarious things. So we have to stay at work.
Yeah, I mean, there's places in Europe that are even more laid back than we are. So if you went to sort of like, I don't know, Sweden or somewhere like that, any of the Nordic countries, them guys do even less than we do. So it's.
Well, in Italy, they take a whole month off, the whole country, August.
Yeah, Spain does. Spain do a similar thing. Greece tends to close down for the winter. So for 3 months, they don't do anything in Greece. For 4 months, nearly.
Tony's boiling down there, wondering what the hell's going on with this equipment. He's trying to figure. Tony works at IT, and it's driving him nuts that this isn't working right. I can tell. He's worse than Alan with this stuff. Alan, if it doesn't work, Alan's just like, oh, it's a piece of crap. Throw it out, get a new one. Tony's losing down there. Oh. All right, let me. So I ordered this from Orbit, and I was excited for this release. And this just goes into a little bit of there's a good and there's a bad side with the Orbit DVD thing that everybody. We're going to do a last 5 here. I've actually got 10 here because mine ended up being like double features. It's Halloween. What the hell? I'm going to do 10.
Yeah.
Like we all order from Orbit, and it's when things go fine, it goes fine. When there's a problem, there's a problem, and it's annoying, and this is where Amazon wins, as far as I'm concerned. So I ordered this title. Probably can't tell that it's utterly destroyed, but I ordered it from Orbit. Paid basically full retail for it because it's Orbit. We got it in early. Blah blah blah. So I couldn't really tell too well, but you could see at the bottom here peeking out. There's something wrong here, but it was all wrapped up. This was under the wrapping. This corner here, you couldn't see that.
Bad.
Yeah, but of course, when you open it, this happens.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And those were expensive too.
Yeah, it's trashed. So me and Tony know this. Well, Tony's probably not going to comment on. That's fine. But when you have a problem with Orbit, it's a big to do. It's a whole mess, and you may not get what you think you're going to get. You may not get anything. So of course I start the email chain. 3 days later, I hear back from Orbit. Hey, what's going on? What's going on with it? What happened to it? And it's just like I'm getting questioned. Like, it's like I'm being investigated by the police at this point. Like,
what'd you do to this Blu-ray, sir?
What do you mean? What did I do with it? Was I chewing on it? Was I doing jumping jacks on it? Is that what you're asking me? I opened it and it fell apart in my hands. And like, well, was there any damage to the box? I said, there's no damage to the box. You guys pack well. This is clearly something that happened in Mexico when they put this thing together or whatever. Yeah. And I didn't notice it. You didn't notice it. It went out. That's what happened. And it's like, could you send some pictures? I send them pictures. Is the digital code been used? And it's just like on and on and on. This goes back. Meanwhile, I went through just last year's invoices from them. I spent over $4,000 in the store. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I'm trying to beat you out of a $40 steelbook. What do you think I'm doing? I'm like, listen, I'll send it back to you. I'll do whatever you want. But what I gotta end this conversation because Amazon, there's no conversation. It's click, click, boom. It's at your front door. Send the other one back when you feel like it. Blah, blah, blah. So they send me back an email. Could you pack it up in a sturdy box and send it back to us? We'll send you a label. So they send me a label. The label comes maybe later that day. And it's not the scannable kind. It's the kind you have to go and print. Who has a printer in 2024? So now I have to go to Staples. The 150-year-old guy has a printer, but he also he probably has an actual label system for eBay. Tony, I know his little operation there. I don't have that, so now I got to go to Staples, get the label, pack the thing up, and it's just like this is why Amazon wins. Because I ordered this from Amazon the minute this started. The next day it shows up. It showed up in a bubble mailer. No damage. I'm going to open it right now and see if there's any damage on it. I haven't opened it yet because I figured we'd do this. But it's like, and by the way, no offer to exchange this, replace it, nothing. It's just send it back to us and we'll give you your money back when we get it. Right. So that's a little odd too. I don't know what that is, but it's like if you have an issue, it's like you're treated like you stole something from the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is a boutique company, supposed to be all about the people. And we have a storefront. And like I said, every time I dread it if there's an issue because I've been through this before. Tony, have you had any similar experiences with returns at Orbit?
I have.
There's a lot of competitors popping up for Orbit. That's a good thing. I hear guys pretty good.
What would happen if you're saying that they've got a bricks and mortar store? What would happen if you just turned back up at the store with that and put it on the counter and went, listen, this is turned up like this. What are you going to do about it?
You would have you probably got the third degree again, but they would have maybe exchanged it. But there's one store, it's in North Carolina. They have a separate online store. So you can pick up in store. They do communicate with each other, but it's still, I don't know. And it's nowhere near me, anybody else. So yeah, this one looks fine. No.
Yeah.
It's still in one piece.
All one piece. I don't see any dings or dents. And again, if it did come smashed, it's one click.
Yeah.
Quick boom. There's another one going to be on your doorstep. Send the other one back. And I don't know. It's just like it's annoying, man. It's annoying to have this kind of thing happen. But I like to, like I said, to say the good and the bad with that company. There's a lot of good with that company too. They do pack really well. They ship pretty fast. But God forbid you have an issue because it is always a problem.
Yeah, we've a couple of independents over here. There's not that many. Probably the biggest independent in the UK at the moment is Treasured Films, and they've just started their own label as well as, so they're releasing titles as well. But apart from that, sort of independent stores doing this kind of stuff, there's very few in the UK because the majority of it can go through HMV. You know what I mean? So we're quite lucky in that aspect that, you know what I mean, anything that does come in, I can either pre-order to store or store will have it from day one anyway.
Well, you got H&V around the corner from your place. So.
Yeah, literally 10, 15 minutes walk from where I live, yeah.
I mean, there's no store like that. There's no, I mean, the closest thing would be, I don't even know, Walmart. I don't know what would be the closest thing to a big physical media. Amazon, Walmart. Amazon is starting to open stores. I don't know what they're doing, but Walmart would be probably the closest that we have.
Yeah, everything else is pretty much died out.
Yeah.
Target, Best Buy, all gone as far as physical media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. You know what I mean? HMV seem to be thriving in the UK at the moment because really there is no one else. Like I say, a lot of our supermarkets, Tesco and Asda and places like that, they all dropped the physical media. So it just meant HMV just went from strength to strength to strength because they could stock everything and it was a one-stop shop for everyone. So everyone just piles in there. So from some DVD,
did you hear is it strong with like physical vinyl and CDs and stuff like that?
Everything. 2 floors downstairs is nothing but DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. And then you've got other collector stuff, whether you're in a pop van like t-shirts or loads of K-pop or J-pop stuff. And then upstairs, loads and loads of vinyl. But CDs have sort of come back in the UK in the last sort of 12 months. They're selling like hotcakes CDs at the moment. So everyone's stocking CD again, which is pretty cool. Because it's cheap, CD's cheap, and I'd rather buy a physical album or something, even if it is on a CD. But a new CD that's coming out over here now, a new album's about £9. So, you know, but they're stocking everything. It's great.
Yeah, when I was in Japan, it was like tapes were coming.
Yeah, I mean, tapes are a big thing in the UK as well but they tend to be heavily on the kind of stuff I'm into. So like the DIY scene, because it's really an easy, cheap thing to put out for these bands now. And because it's a quite niche thing as well, a nice little collector's pieces, tapes sell really, really well. Audio's never that good on them, but you know what I mean? People don't really care. It's quite a cool little thing to collect because it's so small. Collecting cassette tape, you can get quite a bit of it in a small space. So yeah, it's become a big thing again over here.
And they seem to be obsessed with the gadget, the little player. You know, they make fancy new ones now.
Yeah,
you can get a Pokemon player and all this shit. You know, like that people like over there. So I don't know. I see a lot of people in Japan with tape, like Walkman. You know?
Yeah. Sort of old tech into new tech's becoming a big thing at the moment. You know,
they're very they like that over there, man. Everything there like is their technology is like real heavy and overbuilt. That's what they like. They like shit that's like forever. You only have to do it once. Like when you go to check out at a gas station, there's this big giant machine that you check out with, and the screen, the tech looks like Alien, like the Nostromo. Like screens and stuff, but it all works. It's designed to work forever. It's not to be fancy.
It's all mecha.
Yeah, it's very strange. But let's catch up with the chat and see who's all in here. Tony's in here. We probably got a lot of people in here just to see Tony.
I doubt it.
Sydney, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, man.
I'm telling you, you put Basement Blues out there, you get all kinds of people you've never seen before. And nobody's subscribing. They basically just say in the chat, "We're here for Tony, more Tony." Could you make it more so like just leave it like this for the whole stream?
Yeah.
That won't be awkward at all.
Come on, Sydney. Pugwall 316.
Hey, Matt, how's it going, man? You all right?
Yeah, it's going good. This is maybe one of UK's.
Yep, it's one gentleman that I know.
We should have asked Dave. I didn't even think to ask Dave. on
Dave's really unwell at the moment. He's got a chest infection, so we both come back from the convention. I ended up with a sinus infection, and he's ended up with a chest infection. So the germs were rife for the love of HorrorCon.
That's what happens. You go laying down with all these strange women, guys. You guys,
Yeah, well,
you're beating the fans off the stick at the convention.
it was 5,000 strong and hotter than Hades in there. So.
I saw the video clips. It seems like the cosplay is crazy over there. Everybody was in a costume.
Yeah, it's some next level kind of stuff. Yeah, it's big. It's a big thing over here. Real big thing. People just go to town with it.
Okay. We can Tony's metal band. Yeah, that sounds right. Hey Corey, what's going on? Everybody saying it, Corey.
Hey man.
What's up?
Benicio, what's going on, man?
What's up,
Hey man, how's it going?
Tiana, what's going on, guys?
Hola.
Trini's here. What's going on, man?
Yeah,
What's up,
man. Blame me for that. Streaming at 5 p.m. It's
He's awake.
brilliant UK time.
He's a third shift guy. He's a night guy. Are we saying hey to Trini? Manny Lamont, what's going on? Here's a question from Sydney. Sean Penn or Richard Gere, better actor, better movies?
Ooh, for me, Sean Penn probably. Richard Gere did too many chick flicks, and you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's not a good actor, but you know what I mean.
Mothman Prophecies. I'm trying to think of the good Richard Gere movies that I would like.
Yeah.
Days of Heaven. Pretty Woman.
Either way, Penn all day.
Arthur
I'd take Chris
Penn.
Penn over fucking Richard Gere.
I'd take Chris Penn too. Yeah, I'd take Chris Penn over both of them. But Richard Gere did Unfaithful. He's really good in that, where he with the snow globe.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, I'd say Sean Penn on both sides of the argument. What do you guys think?
Same.
Yeah, Sean Penn's more my kind of actor. You know what I mean? He's a more manly kind of man, innit? You know what I mean? Richard Gere was, yeah, he'd done some solid films, but a lot of his roles always tend to bleed into one. I always find he was pretty similar in everything he did. Just the straight wall, deadpan face. You know what I mean? It was like, and then the chick flick kind of stuff he did just put me right off.
Yeah, then there's that whole gerbil thing.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony? Sean Penn or Richard Gere?
Well, I was going to say Richard Gere, but now y'all
You going to talk me out of it?
pressured me after the gerbil talk. I better.
You're right.
But actually,
You're
I've
right.
actually seen more Richard Gere films. I like what I've seen with Sean Penn, but I'm more familiar with Richard
Sean
Gere.
Penn, he's like a real actory type. He makes the weird choices and
Yeah.
a little more art. You know, like I liked him in Mystic River.
Yeah.
He played like the little mafia guy, and even something strange. Like he did that movie Gangster Squad, where he played
Gangster Squad, yeah.
weird. I mean, it's a strange, stupid movie, but he plays some. I don't know. His performance is so bizarre and weird. He's all scarred up, and he's playing some boxer turned mob boss.
Yeah.
He's like beating guys to death. I don't know. Just he makes some odd choices. And then he made this movie. I remember Sean Penn made a movie called The Gunman, where he just took a bunch of steroids and HGH. And he just thought he was going to be an action star. And he was like, it's the muscles are coming out everywhere. And he's just, I don't know, it's just bizarre. He's had a really weird career. He's a really weird guy, too.
Oh, yeah, he's really odd.
I'm just saying, hey.
Yeah, and supposedly the gerbil rumor was started by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds right.
They're probably friends, even. And it was just like a.
No, they fucking hate each other, I guess.
It's like, how can a guy like that have an enemy like Sylvester Stallone? Like,
Oh, they worked together, I guess, on some film, or they were gonna work together. Like something went sideways between like some meeting between them, and like the rumor is like Sylvester Stallone like made up this rumor in Hollywood to go around and kind of fuck his career up, and it kind of did.
yeah, they need to. I don't know. If you're a little twerp like that, you should pick your enemies better. Like, you don't want to end up punched in the face by one of Sylvester Stallone's 18 bodyguards that's standing around him at all times. An officer and a gentleman.
Yeah, see, they're just not my kind of films.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good to have you back, Manny. I remember Gear from First Night. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Company Man.
Yeah, I mean they're my kind of films, but Richard Gere was a complete wrong person to choose for that kind of film. You know what I mean? I don't know who would have been the correct person to choose, but it definitely wasn't Richard Gere.
Well, Caveman, what's going on?
Hey, man.
Talking about David Lowe passed away. Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't know.
Yeah, I heard about it.
But he seemed like a nice guy. That's too bad.
Yeah. Whatever it was, it seemed to be quick. You know what I mean? It's
some sort of cancer.
I think so. Yeah. Reading into it, it's a shame.
All right. Well, we'll get going here. We're going to start with Steve, and we'll go around here.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about the hammering all of a sudden.
Will you please, for the love of God, in your own body, hold the goddamn hammer?
Them hammering.
All right. Yeah, it just starts right now.
On your front door.
Fucking assholes. All right. Pardon my French. Okay, well, we'll go with, I guess, Last Watch. So that would probably be Jeepers Creepers. Separating the art from the artist, of course.
Yep.
Everyone knows about Victor Salva's history or whatever, so I won't address that. But yeah, this is just a solid film. I'm a sucker for a good creature feature. Jonathan Brecht did an awesome job. Giving us something kind of unique, like the creature design, everything with it was pretty cool. The fact that he drove like a really creepy truck. The score, what was that? Bennett Salve, I guess.
Yeah, the song that they keep using, some kind of like happy theme that plays.
Yeah,
to kind of like turn around to something creepy, and I really like the fact that it didn't give us a happy ending too. It was like one of the first movies that didn't do that.
Really interesting little mystery to it too. You're like, what the hell is this guy? And it just gets weirder, weirder and weirder as it goes.
Yeah,
I like the fact that it's a film of two halves. It sort of starts off as one thing and then just ends up something completely different. It's brilliant. It has a really good twist in the middle. Yeah. It takes it in a completely different direction. It's a film I've always liked. It's a great film.
The layer is pretty cool. Concept with that layer too, with the
the church.
Yeah,
the fact that I don't know, they kind of fucked up the mythology like within a couple of sequels after that.
Just
ran it completely into the ground with the fourth one.
Yep, that's what you do. You use the property until there's no money left to be made, and then you discard it and let somebody else do it.
Squeeze every bit of juice from it.
Yeah. I actually watched the second one first. So when I actually watched Jeepers Creepers for the first time, I really liked it. I liked the second one.
Yeah, I do. I like the second one.
The first one really made it much better for me.
Yeah, like I remember when it first came out, I worked right next to a movie theater, and so I think I went to go see this like 3 times in the theater.
Yeah, it worked really well. It was a big hit back in the day.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, it's a good one for the time of year too.
Yeah. All right, let's see what Tony's number 5 is.
Okay, the first one. So all of these would be first time watches. Because
by the way, these will all be on Tony's Letterboxd.
Yep, tomorrow's video was already recorded.
Yeah, so you'll see these on there. But by the way, anybody that isn't subscribed to Tony at this point, Basement Blues is pushing 10,000 subscribers. It's getting embarrassing. Some other channels are making it to 10,000 before Tony. It's ridiculous.
His collection is insane.
Everybody must subscribe to Tony.
Thanks for the plug.
Well, the plug for the 10 people in here are in here to see you anyway. They're already subscribed. So
I doubt that.
get the purchase discount.
I saw Orphan for the first time.
Oh,
Not
nice.
Cool.
really knowing anything about it because I've heard people talk about it, but never really in depth. So I didn't really know what it was about. I just thought it was going to be about this girl, a girl that is kind of like a Megan, some kind of or something like a demon seed or just something bad. I didn't realize what the story was, so I was very surprised, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was made very well. Vera Farmiga plays the adopted mother. I thought she gave a really good performance. But overall, I really enjoyed the twist of the film and thought it was well done.
Oh, you're lucky you didn't get that spoiled.
Yeah, I am very surprised.
Have you seen the prequel?
But we'll talk about that next.
Oh,
Cool.
There we go. What would you rate that movie out of 10, Tony?
This one I gave out of 10.
Yeah,
So I gave it 3.5. So I'd give it 7 out of 10.
that's
I
solid.
really liked it.
Real solid.
Yeah, it's
This is a
it
great
good.
release too. It's got some really good. This is the Scream Factory release. It's got some really good special features, and if I really like a film, then I'll go dive into the special features. But I didn't really dive into this one because I knew I was going to be watching the sequel next. So
Prequel.
the prequel. But we'll talk about that here shortly.
Yeah, it's I think what makes that film even more a little bit interesting is it's based off a true event. The actual event took place. I think the woman in question, I think was she Russian? I think that fooled the system that she was a lot younger than she was to infiltrate a family. But it was based around a story that actually happened.
There's a case kind of similar to that, like in the States too, I believe.
Yeah, it was
Right.
in Indiana that happened, where she turned out to be a 34-year-old woman or something. It was pretty creepy, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creepy scenario, man.
Yeah,
And
definitely. To infiltrate someone's family like that, you know what I mean? It's a bizarre thing to do.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of The Good Son.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of reminded me of
Yeah.
that, bringing someone into your home and them ending up being really bad.
Yeah, just that
Yeah.
that extra little twist at the end there that kind
Right.
of drives it home.
And then just not really knowing what's going on. It's confusion, a lot of emotional type stuff because, they thought they were getting their dream come true by being able to adopt after losing a child,
Yeah.
and just how it just kind of, escalated.
It falls apart.
Yeah, pretty hard. Yeah.
With a bang, really, doesn't it? It comes down hard with a bump. It's it is a solid film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens. Don't adopt European kids. That's the message here. Don't even associate with them. So, like I said earlier, the way I had them all stacked up, and it just ended up being like what I realized is I watched double features back to back. These are all double features. So this is 2 movies. The first one was Frankenstein, 1994.
Cool.
Kenneth Branagh. He's been in some stuff. He's the director and star in it.
Mhm.
I don't know. This is a weird movie. This is like there's crazy set pieces and gore out of nowhere gore, but it's more like an old movie they tried to make a new movie look like an old movie, basically.
Yeah.
And a very, I don't know, very, very specific type of mood for this one. And it just had, like, if you watch Bram Stoker's Dracula, maybe this with it. The other one that I watched with this, kind of, like this is a weird remake, like I don't know. It's almost like a play. This movie.
Yeah.
So the same story. I guess this is more in kin with the book.
Mhm.
It ends up in Antarctica, and the weird thing with Robert De Niro as the monster, and I don't know. I enjoyed
It's
it.
very-
Yeah, I don't know what the wording would be, but it's a period piece, obviously, but
Mm.
Mhm.
what you have is
Gothic type.
operatic,
Yeah.
Theatrical.
yeah, very, very like they thought they were doing a lot here, and it was a big deal back then with the cast.
Yeah.
Everybody that's in this is a huge cast, big budget production. But I very rarely would I ever go back to this, and only in this situation, really. But I was digging around for Steve had sent me Bram Stoker's Dracula on 4K. I can't find it for the life of me. It's in one of these. I know it. It's in there somewhere. And I came across this and I was like, oh, because of this first movie I watched. But anyway, a long line of surgeons, comes from money, and I believe it's his mother that dies in childbirth. And he's obsessed with the reanimation. He wants to, end the, there needs to be something after death and all this other stuff. And you all know the story. But Robert De Niro, odd choice. But again, this is 94. Back in the day, that was a huge thing for him to be, just be able to put his name on there. Made this movie a lot of money. He does a good job. I'm not saying he does a bad job. It's just strange to me, the performance, but like I said, out of really ridiculously good gore effects out of nowhere. You give this really like stuffy, almost boring story, and then somebody's getting their heart ripped out. People are getting mutilated, and there's rotting bodies everywhere. It's just a strange movie and comical in some places, where he gets reborn. And he's like a baby, he can't stand up, and then he ends up hanging himself accidentally. The monster is just I don't know what to say, good, bad, or indifferent. Maybe a 6 out of 10. But I watched this movie, and that's what led me to. I was looking for Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that's what led me to this. I think it's the 2010 remake. Really, really good. Underrated.
Yeah, it is.
Strange movie. Anthony Hopkins is great in it as the older werewolf, and the father and son. He's even like gray, which I thought was interesting. But Rick Baker did the effects for this. There is some CG in there, in the spots, but there's a lot of practical effects too, and tons of like production value. So I won't go into detail too much on either of these, but if you haven't seen this, pick this up for $5 on Hamilton Book.
Yeah, definitely.
Pick up the unrated cut. There is a new 4K from Screen Factory, but this, I believe it's the exact same story. I'm not 100% sure on the original, but it's the father, decides he's going to stop chaining himself up and basically pin all the murders on his son and potentially die at the same time. It's like there's like a whole thing with the lore.
Yeah.
You have to have a loved one kill you. That's the only way you can really die. So it's a whole bunch of like betrayal and weird stuff going on in it, but somehow it all works. Anthony Hopkins as Benicio del Toro's father. Benicio del Toro, I believe, is Puerto Rican or Mexican, but somehow plays. But Anthony Hopkins, I don't know. There's just weird. It's plenty of crazy gore in it and decapitation and everything you would want in a werewolf movie. But yeah, I'm explaining this horribly. Emily Blunt is in this for some reason. I don't know why, but you get the high spot is you get a big werewolf fight inside the burning mansion. Yeah, just like I said, way more production values than I thought this movie would ever have. Or he's a werewolf movie, Wolfman, but it's a first class production. You can tell he spent a shitload of money doing this, and they even got Samara Weaving's dad as the Scotland Yard guy. I mean, they took it very seriously, and it worked out, I think, at least.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, let's see what Tony's number 5 is.
So anybody that sort of like keeps up with us with social media or anything like that will know the club last Saturday did all day event, 12 till 12. So basically 4 films we're going to look at here. 4 films I programmed for the day. So it was split up into quarters. So we did like a kids section, a sort of like teenage section, and then we showed 2 just straight up horror films later on. And we wanted to keep it a bit niche. We didn't want to show anything that was like new or anything like that. So somebody from the club had the idea to come up to show this one. With it being a Rankin and Bass film, it's right up my alley anyway. And it is Mad Monster Party, if anyone's seen that. A stop motion animation film from Rankin and Bass. This has got every sort of like Universal monster in it you can think of. But the voice of the main one, of the main character of the professor in it, why can't I see who that is? I can't see who it is now. Was it Vincent Price? It might have been Vincent
Mr.
Price.
Bean.
Mr. Bean. No. But the whole story evolves sort of like around a 10-minute segment where you get each character leads, the story leads into another character, and it all starts off with the professor. For 1968, you know what I mean, this film it holds up pretty well. It's been digitally remastered. It's still in 4:3, but considering it's on a DVD remaster, it looks actually really good. The music to it, the score to it, is like it just sticks in your head once it's in there. You're never going to get it out. But as a kids' film, I think it's quite charming. You know what I mean? You don't see much stop motion stuff these days of this quality. You know what I mean? Nobody try and do a 92-minute film like this anymore.
No, there's a big resurgence in stop motion, man.
There is. I mean, you've got the one that Phil Tippett did not long back.
That was like, how long did it take to make that? 10 years?
10 years
Mad
or something
God.
like that for him to make. Yeah.
That was
I
like
think-
30 years.
30 years.
Plus years.
Yeah, it's crazy. As far as stop motion in sort of this aspect goes, where they take an animatronic creature with an armature in it, and they pause it, take a photograph, move it a millimeter, take a photograph, and just keep doing that reel after reel after reel to get what they're doing. You don't find much anymore. There was some 90s films, very, very early 2000s films that was this kind of stuff. Paranorman or something like that may have been the last really go of these. Coraline, maybe. But this one, like I said, considering how old it is, it's actually really, really good fun. As well as the kids being into this on the day, the adults were into it as well. Because there were characters that everyone knew. You know what I mean, from Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy and the Wolfman, and they're all in there. You know what I mean. You can sort of see them all on the back. Way there we go. Is that the Blu-ray of it? Oh man,
It is the
is that the Umbrella? Yeah, that's the only Blu-ray release of that film.
Yeah, it's got a lot of special features too, which I know.
Yeah,
you
the DVD's not got very many really. Boris Karloff, that was the name I was trying to think of.
yeah, well,
He voices the sort of like main character in it. But this film is now public domain. So you can get this film from anywhere really, and it's totally up to you what you want to do with it. There's no licensing left on this film anymore. Licensing expired on it, but it's up there with some of the best stuff Rankin and Bass has done. If you know Rankin and Bass films. This one just sort of goes under the radar. People don't really talk about it that much, and they should do, because it was one of the better things that they did, and it still holds up really, really well, especially for this kind of year now for Halloween. If you're looking for something for a bit different for the kids, see if you can hunt down a copy of that, whack that on. It's really good.
yeah, I think here in America they only really played the bunch of Christmas Rankin and Bass stuff, so we never got the Halloween
Rudolph.
special. I didn't even know about Halloween until later on in life.
Yeah, the Christmas special stuff, Frosty the Snowman and all that, and Rudolph, and the what's the about the other one about an elf. They did absolutely loads of Christmas films, and they did a lot of other things as well. As Rankin obviously did a lot of stuff on his own. But as far as it goes, that film, like I say, it was one that I think it just flies under the radar all the time. And for a full feature length film, a 92-minute film, to do what they did with that back in the day, must have took them forever.
Yeah.
But the actual quality of it, and I think with the digital remaster, what they've done as well, they've upped the frame rate on it, so it doesn't look as choppy as what the original does. Because if you look at one, I think it's a VHS rip that's up on YouTube. It's totally watchable, but if you put the two side by side, you can definitely tell that this has had the frame rate upped on it, because it just looks that smoother. But yeah, for something that a lot of people probably don't know about, it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you've got kids.
Alan just texted me. He's not available for the stream, so but he's watching.
Hello, Alan.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in that, Alan.
He's waiting for dinner. All right, so let me see where we were. I should have started this. But of course I didn't. British saying hey to Tony. This is what happens. Manny's saying, wait, there's a fourth Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, they're reborn.
Reborn, yeah. Don't even bother. It's terrible.
Sucks.
Look up a YouTube review and that'll tell you everything you need to know about it.
Sydney Eubanks, his number 5, Spitfire Girl, 96, drama comedy. Lee David Zolthoff. I'm not from Ellen Burstyn. I'm not familiar with that. 2 out of 5. It did sometimes.
I don't know.
Man.
Yeah.
That's the thing about blind watches. Sometimes they don't work out. But that's the only way you're going to get ahead in your with movies. If you try some new stuff, some of these guys need to take a page out of Sydney's book and watch more than the same 20 movies they've been watching since 1992.
I'm guilty.
Well, I mean, that's not like everybody.
Since 1980 for me.
Everybody wants to watch their old favorites. I get that, but speckle a new one here and there. There's plenty of good ones, and people give recommendations. It's not like you have to. It's like, but I was talking about this stop motion. There's a new movie that was supposed to be really good on Shudder. It's stop motion.
Yeah,
it's like an egg for a woman's head, and it's like cracked open, and there's like a doll inside or something. I don't remember what it's called.
It's called stop motion.
It's actually just called stop motion. There you go.
They kept it simple.
Yeah, there was a movie called Junkhead that stop motion I bought a while ago. I've only seen a clip from it, but it looked pretty good.
Mad God is really good too if you guys can find it streaming someplace.
Yeah, I mean Phil Tippett is a god. He's a legend.
It's very weird, but
it's a weird
it's
movie.
Cool.
Yeah, he's the next guy that behind Ray Harryhausen. You've got to look at Phil Tippett. And he learned quite a little bit from Harryhausen. He didn't learn a great deal because Harryhausen was so sort of closed off with the style that he did. He wouldn't really tell anybody. But Phil Tippett did train with him for a little while. And a lot of Phil Tippett stuff came through likes of Empire Strikes Back, and the really good work in that was all Phil Tippett's work.
Yeah, I still need to see that documentary they did on him, where
the Monster Collection.
One of these days, I'll get a good price on it.
Yeah, that's good. What's up, Alan?
Hello.
Benicio plus Tony is just an amazing guy. So if you're not supporting Tony, you're not human. I agree 100%.
Here.
All right, everybody's saying hey, back and forth. Talking about the
Orphan.
Was he talking about Orphan?
I think so.
I get so.
Yeah,
I love
the dark painting.
Okay, yeah. Holland, what's going on?
Hey, Alan.
Hey, what's up, Alan?
Uncle Tony, which he loves.
Everybody's favorite uncle.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey or Ryan Gosling, better actor, better movies.
McConaughey for one movie. Ryan Gosling, I cannot stand.
I don't know.
And the one Matthew McConaughey film that sets him out from all the rest is Reign of Fire.
Reign of Fire is very underrated. I don't know why that's not more popular.
Brilliant film. Takes a brilliant role. Probably the best role he's ever taken.
If you look at that cast, it's insane. I mean,
yeah.
It's
Christian Bale
and 300.
Scottish dude, Gerard Butler.
Yeah. It's just a really solid apocalyptic movie.
That needs a Blu-ray release really bad.
Yeah, some sort of
upgraded one.
Yeah, we've got a studio release of it over here. It looks okay. It looks good. But yeah, absolutely brilliant film. We sing it from the rooftops about that film.
Ryan Gosling is a really good actor that for some reason he just keeps taking these autism roles back to back over and over again. So
it was his Nicholas Winding Refn phrase.
Nicholas Winding Refn movies, and then he did Blade Runner 2049, where he's playing the same kind of malaise, looking off in the distance, depressed for no reason. Like, what's he got to be depressed? Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah,
he's just miserable. This guy. He can't. I hate my whole life. I eat whatever I want. 24/7.
Yeah.
I'm ripped.
Yeah.
You see
Look
my
at me.
abs?
Fine.
I'm Adonis.
Yeah, I'm too good looking. God.
My life sucks.
And it's like he played that, even that movie Place Beneath the Pines, which I liked. He
Mhm.
plays again. He's just that awkward staring guy again.
Drive's the same way.
Drive, yeah,
Uh-huh.
anything. I mean, it's like that's
The
been
same character in all these films.
same.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his rank, but he did a musical. I didn't see it, but I assume he's not, miserable.
Yeah, he did.
Violent, like
Oh.
imbecile.
Crushing
Yeah.
people's skulls.
What is that musical he did? What's it called? That
La La Land.
La La Land.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, in
Emma
the future,
Stone.
in the future, Tony, let a couple beats go by, like you're trying to reach for it.
Okay.
You don't just say it like, "Oh, right on La La Land."
I didn't want UK Tony struggling too much. It was a film that wasn't filmed in the 70s.
But
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey has played a lot more, and I can tell you by far, to me, the actor, it's Matthew McConaughey, just for his work in True Detective. Alone, he should have got he should have won the Emmy. It was him versus Bryan Cranston to win the Emmy every, when the time, the way it fell. So of course they're going to give it to Bryan Cranston for Breaking Bad. But that 1 year should have went to McConaughey for sure for that. I think
That
that
one-
one is a lot
Yeah.
further.
That
Yeah.
one season made me a McConaughey fan. I
Yeah.
could have taken it or leaving him like either way, like before then.
He's all in for that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done some duff stuff as well, as you know what I mean. He had a bit of a spell, didn't he, of doing the old rom com.
Pretty boy stuff.
Yeah, and it was like, no, it's not my forte. But if that's how he wants to earn money, that's up to him. But when he's good and when he's on form and when he's taking a role that he can really sink his teeth into, he's actually really, really good.
It's just like anything else. If it's work and you really like what you're doing, you're going to do a good job.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're obligated to do certain films too for the studio.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of rom coms for a while and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
stuff.
Have you ever seen Mud?
I'm not-
no.
He's in that one too.
Yeah. All right, let's see. A lot of haze going around. Manny Lamar, you don't hear a lot about the Wolfman. Man, I'm telling you, revisit that. It's really
good film.
fun.
Yeah. It holds up more than you would think.
The good fall feel to it.
Yeah.
Even the house. There's leaves in the fucking house. I like the house itself is its own thing. That's a huge set piece or whatever the hell that was, with the mounts all over the walls, and you get the Sikh, manservant that's constantly got a rifle in his hands. Wandering around. I don't know. Just that guy. That guy's life just had to be pure hell. It's like God. It's almost something I got to strap my master into this cage, and if he gets out, he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
And he's just at night with that rifle every night. I don't know. Just and
the aesthetics of it feel very Hammer.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were
Very
way
gothic.
going. They were going for it.
Hammer with a better pace.
Yeah.
Put it that way. But the Sikh character is the one that really struck me this last time. The manservant, and he looks like hell.
Yeah.
Long hair, gray. He just looks like he's the most miserable man on. Or you think
He's
about
seen
what his
things.
life has been cleaning up after this werewolf. For years. It's just.
I clean the pen again.
And
Yeah.
he tells him the story. He's talking to Benicio del Toro about. He's like, "You're going to war," because he had like all these rifles out and all the same. He opens a box and there's like silver, like elephant gun rounds, basically. And he's like, "You going monster hunting?" And he leans into him real close. He says, "Sometimes the monsters hunt you." And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, obviously it makes sense more as the story goes, but I really enjoyed it. It kind of put me in the mind of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
You guys remember that one? Like that movie. If that was rated R, that could have been something really good.
Yeah, that's one of them films I can go back to on a regular basis. It absolutely sucks. It's a terrible film, but I can just keep going back and watching it for some reason.
Fun. It's somehow it's like fun. Even the opening, the Quartermain character is like just in a bar in Africa, and just like guys come to kill him, and he's just used to it. He's like, I'll just murder these guys real quick, and then I'll find out who's after me, and I'll go kill them.
Yeah,
this is how it goes for me. It has a little like tongue in cheek element to it. Sydney, choose one: A Beautiful Mind or Good Will Hunting.
Never seen either.
That doesn't shock me. Beautiful Mind.
Neither have I.
Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind. It's about a man who's like hyper intelligent, super smart, and he's so smart he goes crazy. And Good Will Hunting is about a guy from South Boston who's off the charts smart, who just wants to stay where he lives. He doesn't want to go out beyond his circle there. So I would say Good Will Hunting. Tony, you seen either of them?
Yeah, I've only seen both of those once each, and I really couldn't judge which one was better or not. I liked them both probably equally.
I don't say Good Will Hunting. He used to say he believes he's Mexican. He's something weird. We're saying, hey. Sydney Eubanks, name your least favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
Oh, Jesus.
Norbit.
Uh,
Are you gonna say The Golden Child?
oh God, no! That's one of his best. I want the knife. Worst. Oh, what was the what's the one where
Coming to America 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
oh the one where it's a sci-fi one. Damn.
Oh yeah, Pluto Nash.
Yeah, Pluto Nash. That's the one. That isn't good. The remake of Christ. The remake of a Disney film from sort of like
Dr. Dolittle.
was it?
Oh yeah, Dr. Dolittle.
Was that Eddie Murphy? Was it? Oh God,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that isn't good at all. And he did 2 of them bloody things, didn't
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I enjoyed the Nutty Professor. I enjoyed those. I thought those were funny.
he? Is that the one with the clumps in it? Is that?
Yeah.
Yes, no, not a fan.
I just found it humorous. It was funny.
Oh,
to
yeah.
me.
It's solid. It made about
Just
a
the
billion
family,
dollars.
the way he plays all those characters.
Yeah.
The
It's like
family
the-
was hilarious.
That movie is the reason we have Tyler Perry movies. So that probably should be the one that I hate the most.
The catalyst.
Because it ruined that for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he did some stinkers, didn't he? Once the wheels started falling off his career.
Yeah, it was strange. It was strange. Like in the 80s, you blocks up. If you wanted to make $100 million, you just put Eddie Murphy in, and it's going to do
Yeah.
great, regardless.
Yeah, the early stuff's really good.
Rob, what's going on, man?
Hey, Rob.
Hey Rob,
What's up, man?
Everybody's saying what's up. TSL Movie Podcast. What's going on?
How's it going?
Hello.
hey Darren.
Benicio was saying Orphan. He was talking about Orphan, Beautiful Mind, Norbit, Haunted Mansion. And they
Yes, I didn't mind Haunted Mansion too much. Yeah, there we go. Pluto Nash. Haunted Mansion's okay. I suppose it is what it is.
Yeah, I kind of tapped out on Eddie Murphy like when he started doing all those kiddie movies. So I think the last like shitty movie I seen him do was Norbit.
Mm.
It's one of those things where what's the movie where he plays with Robert De Niro, Bowfinger?
Oh,
Yeah,
Bowfinger.
I
Yeah,
didn't watch that one either.
Terrible.
Played some kind of nerd. I don't know. It's very
yeah.
weird. All right, we're on to round 2 here.
All
Round
right, well,
4, how you look at it.
I guess keeping up with the Universal monster theme,
hmm
The Invisible Man,
Cool.
What year is it?
1933.
Whew,
Yeah,
91 years ago.
33. Yeah,
Mhm.
James Whale. So like 1931, they did Dracula and Frankenstein. James Whale directed Frankenstein. He directed this in 1933, and then 1935 he directed The Bride of Frankenstein. Claude Rains, like he's I don't know, the star of The Invisible Man or whatever for this movie, and yeah, like he's a monster. Like he's just a terrible person. Like he's
It's always the case with Invisible Man that he's just got to be the biggest piece of shit on the planet. He gets to be invisible.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, he's just a scientist and he's fine, but he's trying to crack the code of invisibility. So he injects himself with something that works. It like bleaches your skin or something, but it makes you insane. So it starts out like it's a snowstorm. He shows up at a hotel. He wants to get put up for the night. Real mysterious, like quiet, and doesn't leave his room. Eventually, like he's creeping everybody out, so they're trying to get him the hell out of there, and that's where everything kind of goes sideways. He loses his shit and starts going mad on people, and yeah, I don't know, the performance that this guy gives, like yeah, he's just maniacal. It is very theatrical and it's very, like, and the way that he speaks and everything, but it's really well done. The only real downside for this is Una O'Connor is her name. She's the like the maid that attends the hotel or whatever. She probably screams about 5 minutes straight, like through like one of these scenes, and it's like ear piercing. But yeah, aside from that, it's like an hour and 11 minutes. So it's a tight watch. One of the original like Universal monsters. And like I said, like this guy is like a real like homicidal maniac. Like he derails a train. I can't remember what the body count is on that, but he's gleeful about it,
Terrorist, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all about it. So
yeah. So what do you think of the other Invisible Man movies? The obviously Hollow Man with the pervert, the legendary
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Well, no, the real pervert, the director
Verhoeven.
Verhoeven did that one.
Yeah. I don't know. That one I like bits and pieces of. It's Verhoeven. I mean, Elizabeth Shue's super hot in that movie.
One you have to watch the unrated cut. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
watch the neutered cut. You have to watch. Paul Verhoeven is such a freak and a pervert and the crazy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be sleazy. Yeah.
It's supposed to be disgusting, and that's the whole point of it. That makes the character. If the regular cut, it's like, well, he's not such a bad guy. He's a little mischievous. No, he's the worst guy, and he needs to be dealt with. That's the whole point. You have to build a villain and make him do villainous things. But yeah, this day and age, there's no way they'd make that movie today.
No. It's not PC.
There's nothing PC about it. It's strange. I think a dog gets killed in it. I mean, even like
Yeah.
a dog gets killed on screen in the movie. That you can't do that shit.
Yeah, that's not happening, is it anymore?
It's not happening.
Did you like the recent Invisible Man?
Yeah, Lee Wennell.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah.
I liked aspects of it. I don't know, like everything with Elizabeth Moss, like she's a good actress. She did a really good performance, but I don't believe that story. Like there ain't no billionaire that's gonna, lose his mind and be all crazy if she
ruined his whole life just to get her back or whatever. He is wanting to get her back. He wants to have a baby with her and get her back. That's what he wants.
Yeah. I didn't buy that.
But I get why they went with her, because she's a good actor. And they needed somebody to do the acting, because it's just going to be her in an empty room essentially. And they wanted there's the really good looking actresses are not great actors. That's the thing. If you want a good actor, you need a Meryl Streep who's shaped like a pumpkin. You need Ellen Burstyn who's 1,000 years old. It's tough to find somebody age appropriate who can act with that quality. But I think who's the girl from the Evil Dead remake? She could have done it. And it would have been
Evil Dead Rise.
No, the original Evil Dead remake.
Levy.
Yeah, Levy, whatever her name is. She could have done it, I thought, but maybe she wasn't available.
Jane Levy.
Yeah, Jane Levy. She kind of just went away. There was a while she was doing a lot of stuff.
I think she's doing television now.
Yeah.
And like once you get in there, like if you're like in syndication or something, like you're actually making money. So she's like, I don't want to do fucking horror films.
Yeah. She's above it. So, all All right, let's see what Tony's number.
Of course, my next watch was Orphan First Kill,
Cool.
which is a prequel, and it was very unnecessary. They should not have made this film. They did this 13 years after the original Orphan film, and you can definitely tell. To me, it was very awkward. So I watched these back to back.
Yeah.
And so after watching Orphan and then turning this on and watching this one the next day, it just I kind of like some aspects of it, but they used a little child girl
for a body double.
for the body double, and you could see the child throughout the movie. But as soon as you saw this face, I'm thinking, okay, this is an older woman.
Yeah.
It just didn't pay off, and for it to be a prequel, you would think this child would have been younger, or this woman. But it just didn't. I don't know. It was a little bit sleazier, a lot sleazier.
Mhm.
They had a very weird family dynamic.
Yep.
But overall, I thought it was an interesting story, just very unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm with you there. See, the first one for me got spoiled, so that kind of ruined that for me. I still liked it, but that prequel, I thought there's no way this is anything. This is not going to be anything good. And I kept hearing little things about it, and I actually like it, but it's a mess. It doesn't.
Yeah.
The story's a mess, but it does have a nice twist with what's her name, the lead actress in it.
Yeah, I can't
not
think
the
of her
kid, but the twist with the story and everything. But yeah, it's like I said, it's if you can get past the fact that the girl's 13 years older than she should be.
Yeah.
And they did do some clever things to make her look small, like when she's alone, that's all oversized furniture and things like that to make her look little. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, it's not anything great. You guys,
watching those two back to back probably didn't really work in its favor, really.
Yeah, I mean, whose idea was it, you think, to do this prequel out of the blue 13 years later?
Yeah, I don't know. I
guess they were out of ideas.
Yeah. All right, so I think I went next. I watched this movie. I don't remember what year. 1980, I think. It says 1987, but I think it was made around 1980. But it's Confessions of a Serial Killer.
I heard this would be good.
I mean, it's the same story as Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. It takes place it takes place in a interrogation room, and he's retelling some events and some things like that. He's kind of retelling the past events, and they don't believe him. The detectives don't believe him, and he every once in a while he'll show them a body and things like that. What he's trying to do is get he's been caught for murder, and apparently this killer, Henry Lee Lucas, will literally confess. They call him the confessions killer for some preferential treatment. If you have a cold case you can't solve type thing, you go visit in Texas, you go visit this guy, and he will confess to the killing and get some special treatment in prison. That's the whole basis behind it. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is much different. It's a more fictionalized account, but much better than this. So it's a good companion piece. Like I say, what it is Henry Lee Lucas, his friend, they're also apparently bisexual, I don't know, bisexual.
Otis Toole.
They're not even, they'll anything. Anything. They're like animals. It doesn't matter what it is. Human, live, dead, whatever. They don't care. They're just animals. And they are traveling the country doing odd jobs and things like that. And they actually recruit his sister to join them, Moon, his sister. And they just go on a weird killing spree. They're trying to they rent a place here and there, and they're just kind of traveling around doing disgusting things. It's interesting. Henry by far, if you're interested in this story at all, just stick with Henry. But this to me should have been a bonus feature on the Arrow 4K set. It has a made for TV quality, but there is some charms to it, and it has almost Blood Simple qualities. I mean, this cover doesn't make any sense. This is pure fiction. I don't know what this doesn't look like him. He never wears a mask. This is just try and sell the VHS back in the day.
Make it look like Hannibal Lecter.
Even though this is this comes out before that. It's an interesting kind of character study, but beyond that, it's like I said, it has almost a made-for-TV quality. It being in Texas and night, it kind of has a little bit of Blood Simple quality to it, but it's not great, and you really never get any answers. Is he lying? Is he not lying? Because sometimes he has some information, sometimes it doesn't add up. It's a whole thing. So with that, I popped in The Last House on the Left, the original.
Cool.
Kind of put me in mind of that. I enjoyed this a lot more. I haven't seen it in a long time, but again, it might have just been these back to back. This is the better movie, in my opinion. So I also went through the bonus features on this. David Hess does the music for this too,
Right.
which was pretty interesting. And knowing that and then watching it, the score is so like almost like a Cannibal Holocaust, where it has like this weird score that doesn't seem to fit, but it actually does fit really well. But yeah, I enjoyed this a lot after seeing it after so many years. I haven't seen the remake in a while. I probably, my last thoughts were I'd like the remake more. But I'll dig that out and check that out probably pretty soon. But basically, it's a girl and her best friend. They go into New York to score some dope, and they end up with the wrong crowd, and they end up in the woods, and one of them's murdered, and they're both assaulted, and they end up back at her parents' house, who discover that they're the killers, and they turn the tables on them. That everybody knows that this is a hard watch, I guess, for a lot of people. It is very, very dated and bizarre. Wes Craven did this.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting movie. If you're into just straight up sleaze and grime, that's where this comes in. The acting's not great. The characters aren't great, but the final turn at the end, it brings it home. I always talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or to me, I was watching that movie the first time, and I'm just like, where the fuck is this going? Where is this going? What is this? It's too much vibing going on. But the end really brings it together, and that's what you leave the theater thinking about is the ending. And that's the same with this movie. All the other stuff, it's just kind of a run up to if you can get to the end, that's what you're in it for. But yeah, like I said, it held up pretty well on a rewatch for me. What about you guys? You guys seen any of those? Did you guys see Confessions? I mean, Tony.
No, I've not seen Confessions. No, Last House on the Left, yeah, but I've never seen Confessions.
Yeah, it supposedly came out before Henry, or it was made before Henry, but it didn't come out till after Henry. Henry was the same thing. It was made around 1980. I don't think it came out till 86. So weird. I don't know. The MPA didn't like either movie. Any of those three movies I mentioned, the MPA hated. So maybe that was the delay, trying to get a rating. But Tony, Tony, you've seen Last House on the Left, haven't you?
I've only seen the remake.
You haven't seen the remake, so
Which I really like the remake. I haven't seen the original.
I'd say the remake's better. It moves a lot faster. It's less. I mean, it's obviously less dated, but this one's very dated. But anyway,
I like the remake. It's a little bit harder to watch, like in that one particular scene. But yeah, once you get past that,
they both have really like disgusting rape scenes. But the rape scene in the remake is like really, really brutal.
yeah, I don't feel comfortable watching any of those scenes.
And these are teenage girls.
Yeah,
but I guess it's almost like a after school special here. Don't go into the city to score dope with your friend, or you're going to end up murdered in the woods, and then your parents are going to have to meet your death. Let that be a lesson to you, young girls out there watching this stream. Which are
yeah,
just say
to
no
all
to
you
drugs.
ladies out there.
Right. So again, following on with the night that we put on, the second film that we showed in that day is a little favourite of mine, and I thought it'd be nice for a younger audience to see this because I would have took it that probably none of them had seen it the way they were watching it, and they were watching it quite intensively. You know what I mean? They really seemed to like it, and there's a couple of bits in it where I really cringe because there was quite a younger audience at the time watching it. Now in the UK, this is only a PG. I don't know what it is in the US, but excuse my dodgy Spanish version of it because this is the only version in the UK. It is Monster Squad. for a PG film back in the day, probably people didn't look twice at it. Watching it now, with a younger sort of person in mind, my God, you should be showing this to younger kids. There's teenage guys perving on women's boobs. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Teenage smoking. You know what I mean? It's none of that will get passed now for a PG rated film. But with that being said, the kids that watch this and the sort of like pre-teens and teens that watched it absolutely lapped it up, and for good reason. It's absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? Take a group of kids pretty much like the Goonies, put them all in a melting pot, throw them out. You get one of each kind: a fat one, an unpopular one, a cool one. You know what I mean? A geeky one. It's really, really good. And then throw all the sort of Universal monster kind of characters in there. And it works out to be a great film. It's actually really, really charming. In fact, if you put this up there with something like Goonies or something like that, it's probably better. I would say it's a better film than Goonies. It looks surprisingly really good. He's held up really well. I was always a bit shocked when Kino picked this up to put it out on the 4K, thinking, God, what's this going to look like on a 4K? On this Blu-ray, it looks really good. So I could only imagine that the 4K looks like super impressive. Everything about it, the film, it's paced very, very nicely. The effects, again, the monster effects are all practical in it. And they work really well. Everything apart from sort of Wolfman, the Wolfman character, who's probably got the most famous line of any character ever out of this kind of stuff. That's the only sort of costume that doesn't really hold up that well. The mummy's costume in it is brilliant. The creature's costume in it is superb. You know what I mean? You know it's a guy in a rubber suit, but it's got some kind of charm about it. Again, Dracula's really good. Frankenstein's monster's really good in it. He's got quite a light-hearted story in this. He befriends the little girl. It's charming. It's really nice. It's a film of its time. You wouldn't get a film like this again today because, again, the stuff that it sort of that it shows, they would not be able to show it to a younger audience these days. And to be honest, I'd forgot some of it was in there. So when it come on and there's a younger audience watching, I was cringing at some points, but we got through it, and everyone seemed to really enjoy it. I mean, I had people sort of like my age that just turned out for the day just to watch this film. Loads of people remembered it. Loads of people had fond memories of it. Hadn't seen it in years. And the second we put it out on our poster and bagged it up on our social medias that we're putting it out, people like going, "No way, you're showing Monster Squad? Yeah, we'll come for that one." So it was fun. It was a fun time when we showed that. Again, I could do with upgrading this. There's nothing wrong with the picture, but it's a dodgy Spanish Blu-ray. It's got some bonus features on there. I would imagine it's the rip of Tony might be on this one. Who put it out originally? Was it Olive that put the first Blu-ray this one out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it's the straight rip of that disc onto these. Like I said, looks really good, sounds really good, colours pop on it. So, you know what I mean? If this is okay, I can only imagine that the 4K by Kino looks really, really good. But again, this time of year, this kind of film, if you've got sort of teenagers and they've never seen it before, give it a spin for them. They'll probably enjoy it. It is really, really good.
Yeah, I enjoy that one also. And every time I think about that film, Goonies definitely comes to my mind almost every single time.
Yeah,
it just kind of has that connection. It has that kind of feel with the young people being out independent into this town doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
really
think that's a thing. That's a bygone era that
right.
That'll never happen again. You used to get on your bike,
yeah,
go as far as you wanted to go, and just get back by the time the lights went on.
Yep.
That does not happen anymore. The kids don't do that anymore. They don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to leave the house.
They don't want to leave the house. It's just a strange, and it's just funny that you say that you showed that to some younger people. I tried to show my niece the Never Ending Story.
right.
She stormed out. She just could not. She said, "It looks so fake," and just stormed out. I mean, just, like, it looks terrible. Why would you even watch this? Because in their minds, it's the animated is kind of that's what looks cool to them.
Yeah.
She watched Pacific. I was able to watch Pacific Rim with her. It's right up her alley. And she just moved to Japan, and we told her that those walls are for kaijus. They have walls for what do they call them? Typhoons.
Yeah.
We told them those walls are for kaijus, and we would casually, just every once in a while, talk about it. And she's just sitting back there, very quiet and like not sure if we're serious or not. And then we showed her the movie, and she still thinks there may be. She's not 100%, sure that there aren't kaiju. But she like got into that because of the CG and the way the movie's shot strangely too. It's almost like iPhone shooting it. So that, like, what would you say? The contrast is way up, or I don't know.
Oh, it's way up.
What it
Very
is.
saturated.
Saturation.
Yeah.
So she could watch that, but a movie like, which I think the effects are solid and Never Ending Story.
They're brilliant.
Like, it's just rubber. It's just fake. That's terrible. I'm like, okay. All right, it's just strange that the kids today. I don't know. We can't watch that stuff.
Yeah, it's See, my daughter grew up with all this kind of stuff that I'm into, so she's got a sort of love for it as well as. So, I suppose it's about passing that torch on. You know what I mean? And if you grow up with a family that don't watch that kind of film, then maybe I can sort of understand why.
Yeah, your daughter saw it early enough. Before all this other stuff. Like my niece, she'd seen all this other stuff first. And then I tried to take her back to the other one, and she's just like, nope. That's
You've got to expose them to that shit early, and
really
some
early.
of that shit. Like, 'cause I've watched some of that stuff with my daughter, and like, I'm like, like a couple of parts, it's like I was kind of stupid. You could just feel my daughter cringe.
Yeah, pulling.
But showing a film like that to a younger audience, you know what I mean? And I knew it held up, and I knew it would be entertaining. And again, I don't think anybody of that certain particular age that film is aimed at that was there for the day had even seen it. You know what I mean? Parents had seen it, or grandparents had seen it, but none of the kids in it. They all seem to really like it. So, you know what I mean? At least they took something away from the day where they might go out and buy a physical copy of it and find it on streaming somewhere and watch it again. You know what I mean? It's cool that they're being exposed to stuff other than. There we go. Wolfman's got nerds.
Talking about the documentary that comes with the Kino.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're releasing like a separate release too.
Yeah. It was never like, I think to a point, a lot of people were either a Goonies guy or, Monster Squad, kid back in the day. For me, it was more the Goonies. Monster Squad, I just never did anything. I don't know why. I just never did it. I only seen it maybe once or twice. But it was Goonies in my house.
Yeah,
I liked them both, but I could hardly ever catch like Monster Squad. Like they didn't really play that on cable very often.
Here.
Goonies was on all the time, so you could watch that like twice, sometimes 3 times a day.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same over here. I mean, I do love Goonies. But there's a section in Goonies for me that drags out way too long and nothing happens, and that's the closed down cafe bit, the closed down diner bit, where they first meet the Patelis. It's so slow and so nothing happens. It just takes me. It just takes me out the film completely.
And they're also kids, so they're idiots. And all of it's right in front of their face, and they're just like, "So what is this money?"
Yeah.
They're criminals, you idiots. They're murderers.
Yeah.
It's like constantly, they finally find the body. It takes finding a body for them to go, "Oh God, what do we do? We got to get out of here."
Yeah, but it's just that bit in the film. I don't know why it just takes me out of it massively. And I do like the Goonies, but it for some reason, no, Monster Squad just seems to be paced right. It's got the right kind of humor at the right point in time. It's got a little bit of charm to it. It's got that horror element. There's like a gateway thing to other things later on in life. For me personally, I just always thought it worked a little bit better.
Yeah, and you would watch it around Halloween, just like you watch Christmas movies. So it's something that they created to revisit yearly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we just didn't get to see it often here.
And those Stan Winston effects.
Yeah.
Stan Winston, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it. Rick Baker did the effects for the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, they look really good. And I didn't mention the look of those when they're in practical suits. They're really good, and they left half their clothes on sometimes to kind of cover. I think it works really well, like a big hulking werewolf.
Yeah.
It still covers it pretty well. But Sydney, number 4, What We Found, 2020 thriller. Of course, it's a thriller. Ben Hickernell. I'm not familiar with that. Jordan Hall. I'm not familiar with any of those actors.
Yeah.
No.
Or the movie.
Sounds solid. Cindy Eubanks was asking about the American Psycho remake. Yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't shock me if that's coming. It needs to be a real. I would think even an indie director needs to do it. It needs to be somebody. Needs to be gritty.
Yeah.
But will it be good? Who knows? I don't know. But it doesn't sound particularly fruitful, especially this day and age. That character. I don't know how Patrick Bateman is
Yeah.
going to work in 2024.
It's going to be too offensive for people.
Yeah, it's going to be very offensive if it's done. I mean, the character is very offensive, so it needs to be that. So who knows if that's going to be even possible? Last Test on the Left and remake, but yeah, I think they're both solid, man. I want to revisit that remake. Talking about the documentary. Sydney's number 3 is a movie called Horseman, 2008. Action. It's an Australian movie, so yeah, I'm not familiar with it all, but that's actually that name sounds familiar. I'm not quite sure on that one.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
Yeah.
Chris C, what's going on?
Hey, man.
What's up, man?
All right, everybody's saying hey to Chris. All right, moving right along. Number 3.
Number 3 is going to be Tales from the Dark Side of the movie.
Cool.
Speaking of like stuff that looks like it was shot for TV.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love anthology films. This is a good one. This was originally supposed to be Creepshow 3, but I think it was some kind of rights issue or something like that. They couldn't call it that. But yeah, I used to like watching the show growing up. So when this dropped and it came out like 91, I think I was super stoked for this.
I think Tony's finding his copy, but what is it? It's The Bride, the Cat, and the Mummy.
Yeah, there's 3 stories. It's Lot 249, the Mummy, which was originally written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which I didn't know. The Cat from Hell, which was written by Stephen King, and Lover's Vow, which was written by Michael McDowell.
Lover's Vow, not The Bride. Which is your favorite of the 3?
Oh, definitely Lover's Vow.
Lover's Vow is pretty good. What about you, Tony?
Creature effects.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
No?
Oh, really? I'm sure you have it. I'm sure you got
Well, I have it. I just never watched it. I'm not really big into the anthology type films. But yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I did like Creepshow. I never saw Creepshow 2. But
Creepshow's the better one for sure.
Yeah, I like
Creepshow 2 is probably my favorite of the 3. But I like the Cat from Hell, which it should have been called like, I don't know, the Hitman or something.
Yeah.
I hired the Hitman to kill his cat, and the Hitman's like, who? I don't know who that guy is. The guy that plays the Hitman, is that the guy from the taxi cab driver from
from Scrooged?
Scrooged, yeah. He plays the Hitman.
Yeah,
and
I could not think of his name.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He's a singer too. He had a band.
Yeah.
Also, but he goes there, and that the guy that's the old guy and everything. He was from
William Hickey.
Yeah, William Hickey hires him to kill his cat, and he's like, "Listen, it's not a joke. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to pay you all this money, and I'm not going to be here while you do it because I don't think you're going to win. I don't think you're going to get it done." And the cat is like this beyond evil crazy. I don't know what the hell is cursed or something. I don't remember, but I always remember that cat sequence. It's bizarre. But yeah, Tony, you should check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun watch, man.
I remember who went next. Was it Tony went next? I think it's Tony goes next.
Yeah. So the next film I watched is from 1974,
Oh yeah,
based off of a town in 1946, Texarkana, about this killer coming around, killing teenagers
true story.
on Lover's Lane. It felt like a TV movie, based off of that time period. But it's a really interesting story. I really like the character, the villain, a little creepy looking.
Yeah,
It was really slow paced. It felt very dated when I watched it.
hmm even though it's supposed to be 1940, whatever.
Right. Yeah, they did a good job making it feel dated.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
got-
I mean, I know what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
it feels like a 1950s.
you don't be expecting a bunch of gore. Don't be
Yeah.
expecting a bunch of, just be expecting a bunch of teenagers getting, you wouldn't even call it slaughtered, just getting tortured.
Yeah,
But overall, I liked it. It has Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island in it, Dawn Wells. But yeah, it's an interesting story. This is a really great release, though. It's got a lot of special features, and also it's got a bonus DVD for the Evictors.
yeah.
Same
Another
director.
movie about the same guy. This is the guy that did Legend of Boggy Creek.
Right,
And,
exactly. Hmm.
but yeah, it's very very dated. But
Same
Ben
time,
Johnson,
same time period. Yeah.
what do you think of the Ben Johnson character in it? The lead manhunter, I guess he's like a Texas Ranger or something.
Yeah, didn't really think much of him.
Yeah, I didn't think much of the movie. I liked. He plays almost the same character in. Oh God, what is the? It's a bank robber, famous bank robber. Johnny Depp played him. I can't think of his fucking name.
Oh,
Dillinger. The movie's called Dillinger. It's air
Dillinger.
release. Ben Johnson plays almost the exact same character, the Texas lawman that they bring in to hunt down Dillinger. Well, they brought him in to hunt down the killer in Texarkana too.
Mhm.
So I like that little tie-in, but yeah, it's dated is the word I would use for it. There's a remake. Have you seen the remake of?
We'll talk about that next.
Oh. This is a double feature stream. I'm telling you.
I hear there's another remake coming too.
That'd be interesting.
Somebody like somebody could make it interesting, like Michael Bay did with the TCM remake. Like
Mhm.
maybe if he did that, it would be more palatable. Because, like I said, it is very very dated. Okay, well, this is another double feature. It's almost a triple feature, but I consider these even one movie. I watched these three. I was on a werewolf kick, and I watched Wolf Cop and
Yay.
Wolf Cop 2.
That's definitely some kind of shit that we'd show.
Oh yeah, this is right where Tony parked his car. Both these movies they're shot, I think, 2 years apart, but it's the exact same cast, almost the same story. But in the second one, it's almost like Halloween 3, but with energy drinks. There's nothing to talk about as far as stories here. The werewolf is created by a ancient Satanist cult that uses werewolf blood in one of the rituals, and it all goes bad because they can't control him. And he's a cop, and he decides that they lock him in the cell, but they need him on the street, so they decide to go ahead and let him out and be a cop. And he's obsessed with donuts and booze. And, the guy outside the wolf costume looks like Lon Chaney. So you've got the facial hair, the 5 o'clock shadow that's permanent and everything. It just, I don't know. It's a Canadian production. These are wild movies. They're crazy gore. They're just a lot of fun and very, very inexpensive. Highly recommend both of them. And Kevin Smith, I forgot was in the second one. The second one. This one's crazy. The second one is batshit crazy.
Yeah, it goes off the rails for sure.
Yeah, they're both insane. The story's nuts, but they are a lot of fun. I'd recommend both of them. But that led me to this movie, which I don't know why people haven't seen it, but this is a Raven Banner, tiny little movie called Late Phases, Night of the Wolf. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this movie. This is about the second time I've seen it. It's basically Charles Bronson, if he was blind, in a nursing home that is ran by werewolves. It's there's no way it's as good as it sounds, but it is a lot of fun. And it's not Charles Bronson; it's an actor that looks like Charles Bronson. He's
Yeah.
a New York
It's
actor.
a dude from Stakeland.
Of course, it's not going to focus, but they put prosthetics on him to make him look even more like Charles Bronson. And yeah, he's blind, and yes, he uses guns
Yeah.
to deal with this werewolf problem. But I really enjoy it. Gran Torino, there you go. That kind of vibe, but it's a really, really interesting, not great movie, but you have Ted Noonan, I think his name is. The big, tall
Tom Noonan.
Tom Noonan, really good in this. It's not a great movie. I think this is a Serbian production or something. I don't know, but this was like $3.99 from the Raven Banner website. Love that company, Raven Banner. It's a fun movie. It's bizarre. It's like an old man movie. I know Tony's seen it. I don't think Alan's seen it yet, but Alan would love this. It's just like I said, just a fun one.
It's all practical too.
All 100% practical effects, and like I said, the character's really like gruff and that gruff old man. He's like a Marine or something, retired military, but he's blind now, and he's very independent, and he's a typical old man stuff. But I would recommend it. But it's not anything incredible. Don't get too excited about it, but it is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, 101 Films have been out over here on. I think it's on the Red Label. It's been out for a couple of years now. But yeah, decent enough little flick.
Tony, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Most everything I've gotten from Raven Banner, I've really enjoyed. It's very different than your normal.
Strange little Canadian company, but man, they really care about their stuff. And again, the opposite Orbit's customer service versus Raven Banner's customer service. It couldn't be further from the a difference. Raven Banner is like, there was damage. Sorry, they're Canadian. Sorry.
Sorry.
We'll take care of you. And like I said, I love their stuff, and I hope they continue. I hope they got more coming.
Yeah. Again, sticking with the Halloween night theme we did, I wanted to show one of the Halloween films because I thought it might be a bit of a draw for the club. It might be the one film that out of everything that was showed that might pull.
Before we go further, so what is the club? What happens in the club? Yeah. It's not a club. Like maybe that's what you call them over there, but it's like what it is they get a venue. They have a venue. It's a bar.
Yes.
And they have a projector and a projector screen.
Yes.
And they do a double feature and they get hammered and watch.
Yes.
I love the way that Tony and Dave talked about it, but I think it's a Tony idea. You put the less shitty one first.
Yes.
And then by the time they're drunk, the second one will be a lot better.
Yeah. So, the second one becomes everybody's got about 4 or 5 pints in them. Everybody's sort of in a relaxed atmosphere. So by the time the second film comes on, no one really cares what they're watching anymore. They're just going to watch it and have a laugh and take the piss. So I've shown some absolute natty stuff on the second films. Like we've shown some crazy stuff.
That's where Tony almost like Dave picks the first one. Tony picks the second one. But it's zero money to enter from what you talked about.
It's completely free. So every event that we host is completely free to come to. You just need yourself, come in, sit down, take a load off, go and get a beer, get a drink, get whatever you want. We have a club shop as well. So obviously the club's trying to sustain itself for the little bits of money that we do need. And we do a monthly raffle as well. So in between both films, we do a raffle. We put some things in. Dave will put some things in. I'll put some things in. Other members will put items in. And that bit of money as well goes back into the club. So it's paying for like the event that we've just done. It pays for the printing of posters and flyers that we put out everywhere. So the good thing for us is we don't charge anybody. So then that opens things up wider where people will come to have a look because it's free. The bar doesn't charge us anything to host the night there. So it's not costing us anything. It's not costing him anything in hiring us. It's just a win-win scenario. We get a venue, he gets punters. So it just works on every level.
Customers in English.
Customers, yeah. But like we've had a few people contact myself and Dave now and say, how are you actually doing this? How are you taking these films and showing them without anybody doing anything about it? Well, the thing is, some of the stuff we show is public domain, so there's no licensing on it anymore. Licensing's expired. Or we cover it with an umbrella license. Umbrella licenses vary from sort of catalogue to catalogue, but I can generally find an umbrella license that will cover that particular venue. It doesn't cover club, it just covers the venue that we're going to show these films on at. And it's about £156 a year for an umbrella license. And then really that's only covering me for titles that people may have heard of. Some of the other absolute tripe and rubbish that we put on, you know what I mean? Nobody in Sundry is going to even know we're showing this kind of stuff anymore. And does anyone really care, you know what I mean, if I'm showing The Boneyard or, you know what I mean, Mosquito, you know what I mean? Just at this point, no one cares. But in you know what I mean? When we first started this, we started it because we'd lost our cinema in town. There was nowhere to go to watch a film. It was a drive out of town to go anywhere. And we came up with this idea, well, what if we did something? We put the first event on 12 months ago. So it's bang on 12 months of the day since we did anything. And we just thought it would be like me, Dave, a couple of other guys we know, all sort of like late 40s, early 50s. Just sat in a corner of a bar going, oh, do you remember this one? You know what I mean? And it turned out it wasn't like 27 people turned up on the first night. And I was like, right, okay. That's like more than our local cinema's been getting in. And it's only got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we've had a constant core of people turn up to every single one. And then they brought people with them. We've had new people turn up for everyone we've done. Obviously, every theme and night's been different. But we're getting like a regular sort of 35 to 45 people turn up to like every event we do now, which is pretty cool considering I wasn't expecting anybody.
It's all going to lead to you opening your own pub, calling it the Winchester.
Yeah,
having the hog lumps, the pig snacks.
Yeah,
and all that.
Rifle above the bar.
Rifle above the bar, the whole bit.
Lock-ins.
I believe Nick Frost has got a new movie coming about. Actually,
he has. Yeah, he's got two. Yeah, but the one I like is the one where he takes he's on holiday with his family and friends, and I can't think whereabouts they've gone, but they want to go and visit a particular island off where they are, and they're told not to go because that particular time of year while there's a festival on. And he thinks, fuck it anyway, we'll go anywhere. And it turns out the festival's just an absolute crap fest, just everyone's getting killed. So that looks pretty good. I've seen a trailer for the other one with him, and I can't think what that one is. But yeah, I mean, Nick Frost is a dude, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, like we've got a couple of people that are members of the club now that I thought we would never get. I mean, Lawrence Harvey is a known member of the club. If any of you guys have seen Human Centipede 2 or Human Centipede 3, Lawrence Harvey is the main actor from both of those films. So it's cool to have Lawrence kicking about. Dave has been really good to have, as well as me and Dave have known each other for a long time, and just his line of work and who he works for and what he actually does.
He makes film poster renderings.
Yeah, so he's a comic book artist and alternative movie poster. He's predominantly an artist for John Carpenter. He works for Storm King Comics, so he works directly for Sandy King and John Carpenter. And then the other stuff with the alternative posters, he's just done the 25th anniversary Warner Brothers Matrix poster for Warner Brothers.
It's a really
yeah, which is just an absolute badass piece. I mean, Sideshow Collectibles had 250. I think they sold out straight away. More Art Gallery, they had 75 special editions. They sold out straight away. I think the only other way to get hold of it now was through Warner Brothers itself, I think. But yeah, you know what I mean. We've been lucky that we've, you know what I mean. We've got people like that coming into the club, who sort of get, I wouldn't say promote anything. I don't want anybody to go out there trying to use the names for the people they work for to get us more noted. But these people are noted within certain industries of what they do. And then if they see somebody like repost one of ours, you know what I mean, one of our social media posts, something like that Lawrence may show, Dave may show, even Dave's brother Pete, he's a colour artist as well as, like I said, we've got a couple called Damien and H. They're called 92. He's done some 2000 AD stuff. There's just a good wealth of people within the club that's just getting the name out there. I mean, even just the name change from Massive the 80s to Wigan Cult Film Club on the YouTube channel. Within like 2 weeks, we gained like 450 subscribers in 2 weeks just with a name change and bringing Dave on board. So, you know what I mean? And it's helped. And for the love of horror, when we did that convention a couple of weeks back, never in my wildest dreams would I thought I would have got stopped at a convention that was outside of my own town to say, hey, aren't you those two guys from Wigan Cult Film Club? And I was like, yeah, that's us. You know what I mean? It's like, that's never happened before outside my own town. And so it was pretty cool. So yeah, doing what we're doing seems to be working. People within the town enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's opened a few doors for us. So it's been really good. You know what I mean? It went from me nearly closing this channel down because I pretty much like nothing was happening. No matter what video I put up, no matter what I did, wasn't getting any views. And I thought, well, instead of closing it, why not name change it for the club? And it might just help me promote some club stuff through the club to club members and things like that. And lo and behold, it did all right and pushed in a different direction.
Nerdiest biker club. It's the dorkiest biker club, the least intimidating biker club in history. They didn't even bike.
Yeah, you might turn up on the buzz. Oh, you know what I mean?
Well, you had to like goon up and throw a guy out, didn't you? Like last time.
Yeah, I had to. Some tramp just turned up and like plunked himself down at the side of the film. Wasn't even sat with anybody. Was sat facing us. Just like I went, mate, you can't come in here like that. And he just looked at me and took a can of strong white cider out of his pocket, just opened it, started drinking it in front of me. And I was like, mate, you can't do that in here. You're gonna have to leave. Instead of saying anything to me, get up and leave, he just went and pretended he was asleep. I went, mate, you're gonna have to get up and go. So that was that one. And then Saturday we had to do the same thing. I caught two guys doing a Grandma Charlie off the back of the toilet when I walked in at like 4:30 afternoon. I'm like, boys, no.
Did anyone catch any of that? What was he doing?
Doing two guys were in the bathroom doing cocaine.
Okay, there you go.
At 4:30 in an afternoon. at a Halloween party that was still showing a kids' film. Boys, you're going to have to go. I'll see you later.
Time and place, gentlemen.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sorry to be the buzzkill and everything, but fuck off.
Tony's the heavy. Listen, Tony, you got to handle this problem.
Yeah.
Tony's got to go goon these guys out of here.
Yeah. Go in, hairball in at men's toilets. Come on, gentlemen, please. Out we go.
Chaps, we've got to cheer. We've got to move on now.
Yeah. But after all that, again, I wanted to show something from the sort of Halloween franchise because I thought it might have been a draw. It might have got like piqued people's interest to come in and watch. And I thought, well, everyone shows Halloween 2. So why not try with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch? My favourite. I love this film. And I thought, well, do a lot of people even know it? You know what I mean? You casual film watchers. Obviously, hardcore film watchers within the club know the film, enjoy the film, know the whole sort of history and ethos with it. But I thought, just your regular film goers, probably never seen it. You know what I mean? Probably don't know much about it. I showed it. This was the first 4K we've ever shown at the club, and my God, did it look good on that setup. It looked great. It sounded fantastic as well on our new PA system. And people lapped it up. I think because it's got such of a bit of a weird storyline to it, and it's attached around sort of British folklore, that people sort of got it and understood where it was coming from, and it's nicely tied into Halloween, as in the holiday Halloween, rather than just the film franchise. Because in theory, it's just Halloween in name, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's about as far as it goes. But people really dug it, and I got more out of people actually sitting and enjoying it than I did sitting and watching the film myself. I've seen it loads of times. You know what I mean? I know what's coming. I just got fun out of it watching other people's sort of experience and fun of watching this film for the first time, or maybe watching it for the second time, but the first time they'd seen it was years ago and they never really remembered it. And people seemed to enjoy it, which was really, really good. You know what I mean? Tom Atkins in this is about the most manliest man you'll ever see. If I could grow a moustache like Tom Atkins, I'd die a happy man. Because that moustache is a blinder. It's up there with the Selleck tash, that, isn't it? You know what I mean? It would be it'd be a hard fought duel to who had the best 80s stash between the two of them. The whole Silver Shamrock thing, the whole mask thing, it's still really, really good. And yeah, people seem to really enjoy it. We got some good feedback off it. And it was one that ran through the night. By the time this came on, we got rid of all the kids had gone home, all the families had gone home. More sort of just hardcore horror heads had come in for the evening. Everyone was having a drink and a laugh, and it was really, really good. It was good to see. We're probably around, I don't know, 35 in at this point to watch this one. And it went down well. You know what I mean? So I'm glad people enjoyed it, because it's not one that crops up on a regular basis. I know we talk about it all the time, but just for an average cinema goer or film watcher, Season of the Witch is probably not one that doesn't pop up on the radar.
It had a big resurgence over here through Spirit Halloween. Became like every year Spirit Halloween does, like, they pick a movie and that's going to be the focus of their
they just run with it, don't they?
And junk in there. You know, Terrifier was a year. That
Trick or
Treat was a year. But that movie, it's, again, we've all talked about, the name is what hurt it so much. But the robots crushing skulls and shit, I mean, it's pretty brutal. You know, really solid. You know, I don't go for, some of it, like when they do turn the kids or whatever, and it's like they turn into snakes or whatever. The head turns into like candy corn or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, just mush in it. There's just like insects and snakes coming out of them.
I remember the robots, being fucking badass in it, Warlock and all that.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's just that tiny little bit that's got that British folklore, British folk horror in it, where they're using
Stonehenge.
A part of a stone from Stonehenge to sort of fire this power up, to use it to amplify this power. It's pretty cool.
Sean, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Saying hey to Sean. Manny Lamont, Tales from the Dark Side TV show always creep me out. Yeah, the opening.
The opening, the music and like the narrator.
We say this every year, but God, now I'm blanking on it. Tales from the Crypt. When is that going to get a real release?
M. Night was supposed to like do it, but I think something happened with the rights or some bullshit.
Yeah. We'll get there. Manny, New York Dolls lead singer, was the hitman in The Cat from Hell.
Yeah, there we go.
I can't remember the name of the song, but he had a song. Chris C., very good film. Town Dread Sound Out, true story. Yeah, The Phantom Killer. Probably still talk about it there. Nothing else going on in Texarkana. Sydney, John Travolta, name your 3 favorite movies from him and rate them out of 5. So just marinate on that, and we'll come back to that when we come back around. John Travolta, 3 favorite movies, rate them. Chris C., have the same release, The Town Dread. Yeah, that's the only release as far as I know.
Yep.
Manny says Ben Johnson plays Ben. There it is. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
that weird, the cigar in his mouth, gonna go murder some outlaws.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, just a big hick that does that. That works out. Man, yeah, I don't know. I kind of tuned out on that show. I kind of wish it would go a little bit back the way it was. Although it's Lawrence Harvey's awesome, Centipede 2. He hadn't seen 3.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy as well. You know what I mean? He's like this weird, creepy looking little dude in the films that he does.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's actually really nice guy. He only lives round the corner from where I live. And you see him regular doing his shopping or buying vinyl or, you know what I mean, just doing dead normal things. But he's a really cool guy. He's just dead laid back.
Sidney Eubanks, Keanu Reeves or Matt Damon? Better actor, better movies?
Keanu Reeves.
Better actor, I'd say Matt Damon. Better movies, I'd say Keanu. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. Matt Damon's got
Keanu,
some pretty
you got
decent movies too.
Constantine, Devil's Advocate,
Yeah, Matrix.
Matrix.
Don't forget
Point
Knock
Break.
Knock.
Right?
Yeah, Point Break.
Break, John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who's made definitely more money. His movies made a lot more money. Keanu Reeves made a lot more money than
Yeah.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon's kind of a one-note guy to me. I can't see Matt Damon playing anything but a Matt Damon type.
I like
Keanu Reeves
the Bourne series. I like those Bourne movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. They stand out for the stuff that he did.
Neither one of
Dogma.
them.
I like him in Dogma.
Yeah. Neither one of them are great actors. That's the thing. Like neither one of them are really known for their acting ability. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's just Bill and Ted for me with Keanu Reeves. I can't get past the Bill and Ted stuff. I love it. It's fantastic. All 3 films are great.
I mean, Keanu plays a Keanu type in most movies, but he can do other stuff. I mean, the Constantine character is not a Keanu type.
Yeah,
But
he pulls it off.
He doesn't have a lot to say in some of his better movies. Let's put it that way.
I
Yeah.
think if he's with the right director, like he can kind of like shift him like one way or another.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to his credit, a lot of times you probably hire Keanu to play Keanu. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
because he's going to act a certain way.
Yeah, so all those early films like My Own Private Idaho and what's the other one? What's the other one he's in with Steve Martin with
Parenthood.
Parenthood? He's just Keanu Reeves. He's just Bill and Ted Keanu Reeves in that.
Well, he's pretty good in Night of the Demon it's not Night of the Demon. He played-
Devil's Advocate.
No. Son of a bitch. It's the movie about the modeling industry, and he plays like a jerk in it. He plays an asshole in it that owns a motel or runs a motel.
Neon Demon.
Neon Demon. He can do other things when you let him. Also in The Gift. Remember
Yeah,
he
he's
played
a total
that-
scumbag in The
he
Gift
played
too.
a huge scumbag in The Gift.
Yeah,
He was a killer in The Watcher. You know, definitely not a Keanu type. I don't know. I'd say Keanu on both sides.
yeah. What's the other one? Was it
Yeah,
Herd Rain? What's the one? Is it with not Herd Rain? That's
It's Christian.
not Skrull Slater. Yeah,
yeah. Slayer. What's the one he did with Morgan Freeman?
Keanu.
Yeah,
The Hard Rain was Morgan Freeman, right? I think.
I don't know. I
Is
know
it-
Slater was in that. Christian Slater.
yeah.
John in that.
He's in an obscure film, sort of 90s film. I'm sure it was Morgan Freeman is in as well. It starts like a at the beginning of the film, you think he's like the cool one and everything. But it turns out he's not. He's the arsehole by the end of it.
Yeah.
I can't think what the hell. I can't think what it's called. That's pretty.
Casey Affleck's in a movie with Morgan Freeman where Morgan Freeman ends up being the bad guy at the end. Casey Affleck.
It's too many. It's too many
Yeah.
all in together.
Yeah, like I said, Matt Damon. He's a bit much like Ben Affleck, isn't he? He's a good sort of like sidekick to somebody, but
Yeah.
you put him as a leading man, and it's not always believable.
If you look at Ben Affleck's best movies, I mean, Batman v Superman or whatever. He's it's the three main characters. He's one of
Yeah.
them. You're right. I think that's probably the way it is.
Sydney Eubank said
Chain
Yeah.
reaction.
in reaction.
Chain Reaction. That's the one. That is the one.
So marinate on the John Travolta. Name 3 favorite movies from John Travolta.
Saturday Night Fever. 5 out of 5. Favorite film that he did. Amazing film.
I bet so.
Michael.
Michael. There you go. What's the one with God damn it, the Scientology movie that he did?
Ooh, Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Oh, Battlefield Earth. Yeah. Jesus.
Ouch.
That's terrible. That is an awful film.
We're on to number 4.
All right. Well, I had tickets to see this in the theater again on Tuesday, but I had to miss it, so I ended up watching it again anyway, even though I've seen it probably countless times at this point. Ari Aster's Hereditary.
That's a winner. You seen this
Yeah.
one, Tony? Either Tony, you guys seen Hereditary?
No, I've not seen Hereditary.
I like
No.
Hereditary.
I don't know that you'd love it, Tony. It's a very I don't know, slow is definitely the word, but
Right.
it's kind of grounded too, even though it is what it is. But yeah, don't let me cut you off, Steve.
Yeah, no, you're fine, man. It's designed to F you up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Ari Aster is in his right mind. If you've seen like Hereditary and Midsummer, at least, like, and especially if you've seen what is it? There's Something About the Johnsons.
Yeah. He's got a thing for cults.
Yeah,
Right.
and crazy like family stories.
Family dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Toni Collette gives an Oscar-worthy performance in this. Even Alex Wolff, even though he went full method for this role, and
on the table and everything.
yeah, he like introduced himself to the director and the cast like at the end of the movie when they finished shooting. But
He's
yeah,
weird,
just
though.
really disturbing stuff. Like the score is really unsettling. The cinematography, the way everything's shot. There's one sequence in this movie like that I can't think of anything else that does this to me, but it happened sometime like during the pandemic when I was watching it. But there's a point where Toni Collette wakes her son up in the middle of the night, and there's just one part in particular. I don't know if it's the music, like the sound that he's making or the sound that she's making, but like as soon as like the match goes up and you see the reflection of the flame, like I get goosebumps like every time, every single time. But yeah, it's just that good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's basically just about a family falling apart over grief and kind of making themselves susceptible to something evil that's already been predestined for them.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, that's a good one to see on the big screen.
Yeah, I don't know that Tony's ever going to see it, so I'm listen. This is not a Tony movie, but it's a heavy cult movie. It's got all kinds of. It's like the cult being involved is kind of a spoiler, but at this point, this is I would say, shining level horror film.
Right,
it's up there for me.
Has seen, and if you didn't see it, this is not a movie that people don't recommend. This is not a movie that doesn't have like. I don't know that there are any detractors for it. I mean, frankly, everybody that sees it raves about it. So it's a there's, like I said, the cult aspect and the way it's shot, like you're talking about. I always bring up the shot of where it's a shot from outside the house, and it's not just a regular establishing shot. It's like a voyeur shot of the cult members outside.
Very ominous,
really creepy. That so this is all going to have a bad ending, and the visuals, the Toni Collette stuff. She should have gotten an Oscar for sure.
Yeah,
and her husband,
Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne should have gotten an Oscar too. He's great in it also.
Yeah, everybody.
And it would honestly, she's so beat up and damaged and messed up. It makes sense that her husband would be like 30 years older than her. Like all of it makes sense. the way it's done, and they have their kids are fucking weird, like they probably had kids later in life. It all adds up to me. The eye roll stuff would be like you kind of have to suspend some disbelief for the cult being able to pull off all the things that they pull off. The way, or works out maybe a little too perfectly. Maybe the man downstairs helped it work a little bit better. I don't know. It's a movie you can watch over and over again. That's one of those.
Yeah. And it's made to be watched over and over
Yeah.
again. Like if you just read if you went as far as to read the screenplay, like all the little things that Ari Aster put throughout that thing to that isn't spelled out for you when you're watching the movie. You really have to pay attention to catch it. It's amazing. It's just for someone's first film, first motion picture,
some
chef's kiss.
Some guys just get it right the first time and they'll never go back. They'll never get that height again. But it's The Lodge is another movie that's like this. It was the Nick Cage one we just watched. We just got this year. You're wearing the shirt. What's the shirt?
Long Legs.
Long Legs. Another movie, like that, along those lines.
Yeah, very dread-inducing.
Yeah, it's a winner for sure, and it's a fall movie.
Yeah,
fits right in.
So the next movie I watched is The Town
No
That Dreaded
way.
Sundown. So this right here was
get
made
out of here.
38 years after the original was made, and it actually takes place 30 years after the original story because we visit the exact same town where all of these tragedies happen.
But it is a sequel, not a remake.
So, right, it's a sequel. Yep, and they celebrate the original. You can actually see it playing on the drive-in screen where they play it every Halloween. And it takes place 30 years after. They never could figure out who the Phantom Killer was. So, he was never caught. And then all these things start happening again to this town. And with it being a film made 34 years later, there's more gore and more violent attacks that they were able to do in this one. But it still wasn't a great movie.
Mhm.
It was still kind of, it's kind of dull.
I heard it compared to Strangers Pray at Night. Is
Yeah,
that-
it was similar to that, but not as good as that.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It's really got a really nice looking slip.
What would you rate both movies?
I gave The Town That Dreaded Sundown 2.5 out of 5, and I gave this one 3 out of 5.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
It's a little better. Right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that remake. I haven't, or the sequel. I haven't seen it, but I haven't. I need to
No, I've never seen that.
finally get around to watching it. All right, my next ones. These two are not related at all. My girl came over and we watched a couple movies that I thought she'd be interested in. This is more about her than me, but this was one of my top 5 releases for 2023 from the last year's stream. But it's Crimes of the Future. Rewatched this.
Cool.
Got a lot of heavy themes in it. It's body horror. It's definitely Cronenberg, David Cronenberg. I think it's 2023, 2022 maybe.
Yeah, it's around that, isn't it?
Very new. But it's got heavy. It's a movie that benefits from rewatching, even though there's stuff in it that doesn't make sense. I will say this: that the police detective in this should not have been in the movie. I'm sure they were out of money and they just went, "We'll get an actor, a local actor in Croatia or wherever they were." I think it's Greece. He does not fit at all. It's a strange. I don't know. He's like a black Ethiopian model, is what he looks like. And he's wearing clothes you'd find at Target. He has no badge. He has no gun. It's just like, I'm a detective, and he's got a heavy African accent. I don't know. It's just a strange casting, but basically what it is deep into the future. Pain has become through evolution eliminated. You can't feel pain. Only certain people can feel pain, and it's usually at night when they're asleep or when they are trying to eat something. They can feel pain. So so your pleasure sensors are all screwed up. Your pain sensors are all screwed up. So people don't have sex anymore in a traditional way. Now they operate on each other in a sense. Is the sex, because it's you can't feel anything, but they don't kill each other. There's a lot of weird stuff happening in here. even touches on like social media and how people will do anything for fame, including operate on each other and mutilate themselves and things. It touches on that. It touches on the food being synthetic nowadays and microplastics in the food, and people are evolving, but for all the wrong reasons. It's just a very dense movie. It's very hard to follow. It's very strange. I'm not gonna, I know Tony's a huge fan of this. Regular Tony, but he loved it.
I watched it. I watched it once, but now that you're talking about it, that kind of makes sense to me. I had no idea.
You just have to. It's the themes and kind of look very below surface level, but it's so bizarre. The performances are bizarre. There's a point where there's these purple candy bars going around, and the guy from Underworld, the werewolf from Underworld, he's slamming these purple candy bars, and some guy takes one away from him and just starts eating it, and it kills him right in front of the werewolf guy, and he's watching it, and he's just like dead face, just couldn't care less, and he just goes right back to eating his candy bar, and you're like, what the fuck? People are getting their head, holes drilled in their head, and bones put through their face, and there's one guy with just his eyes are sewn shut, and he's just got ears all over him. It's very bizarre, but like I said, the themes are what's important. And if you have this release, I highly recommend going through the bonus features. David Cronenberg can kind of give some clues and some hints that make it helpful. But I watched it the first time. I did not know what to make of it. I got it by the end to a point. I watched it a few. You really have to chew on this. It's become one of my favorite Cronenberg movies, and I'm not a huge fan of his, so take that for what it was. But she's really into this kind of like food being poisoned and all this bullshit. So I think she liked it. I don't know. The second one I know she liked. It was right up her alley again. But these are not related at all. It's not a double feature, but I can put it in here. The Masked Mutilator. Now this says 2019. But I think it's 1994, and they just finally put it together in 2019. Basically, what it is like you're familiar with ECW, Tony, the Philadelphia wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's set in that part of the country. It's maybe an ECW kind of wrestler, and he's kind of out of the business, and he runs a halfway house now. And the lore goes that in his final match, he put like a cobra clutch on a guy and killed him by accident.
Right.
Or maybe not. It's a shot on video, very low budget. But the lead in this, I don't know his name. Of course, I don't know his name. You can tell he was there are some pro wrestlers in it, but it's the kind that they were jobbers essentially.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it has a smart ass humor, sarcastic humor in it. It's indie pro wrestling. Tony, you might like it. I mean, this might be your kind of where you part. It's Intervision. These are very low quality movies, and
yeah,
you can tell they had a lot of fun doing it. But it's just, like I said, eye rolling. There's some weird wrestling style fight scenes in it. Of course, it's not going to focus, but a guy's doing like a super kick up here, and it's a good time. She loved it, but this is exactly where she parked her car. But yeah, that was the other one on the double feature. We watched those both.
Yeah, I could probably get down with that.
Yeah, I would say so. All right.
Right. So the last one for our evening that we did, like I said, we did a whole plethora of films, and we should have had a band playing from 9 o'clock onwards. And the day before, it's a band I booked previously, I had a band I know, but the guitarist came down ill, so they cancelled, and I was like, right, okay, what do we do now? So a friend of ours, Charlie, he was DJing anyway. I said, what about if you did an earlier set? And I played another film, but we turned the volume completely off, and you play loads of weird sort of like John Carpenter style synth over the top of everything, and we'll just run with that for the rest of the night while everybody's in. And we went, yeah, okay. And the film that me and Dave came up with was Boris Karloff's original Frankenstein. Now, I've seen this film loads, and I really, really like it. It's a good film. Try turning the volume completely off on it and then playing some sort of like 80s style synth over the top. Mate, it works unbelievably. it's brilliant.
So you
Just
you backed it with a soundtrack, right? So it's just, I don't even remember that does have dialogue, right? It's not a silent.
Yeah.
yeah, it's got dialogue.
Very little dialogue.
Yeah, and again, it's in 4:3. It's a non-remastered DVD, so it looks like absolute turd. And it really worked. Playing synthwave, 80s style, even modern new synth over the top of this worked a treat for 90 minutes. It was fantastic. It elevated the film. People were watching it, didn't really care about the dialogue or the story. They could pretty much, people had seen this, or you know what I mean, they could get to grips with what was happening. But to watch this on a big screen with that kind of music playing over the top of it worked really well. So it's given us an idea to try something else in the new year. The ideas like this that may probably work with old black and white horror, even sci-fi, where we take a musical style and play it over the top and see if it goes down. Because this, like, people loved it. It was, you know what I mean? We turned the lights down. We had this on a big screen. We cranked the music up, and yeah, it really, really worked. No, it's not that long back since I'd watched this, and I really enjoy the film. I enjoy all the sort of Frankenstein films, but was just looking for something that you know what I mean, we could put on that people didn't really care too much about what was going on. But the sort of like the aesthetics of it would go with the music, and it worked a charm. It was something we'd definitely try again, see if we could hit it again. And these all Universal black and whites may be the one to do it. They may work quite well. The good thing about these in the UK now is predominantly majority of these are public domain now. So I can show these without any repercussions, anybody coming back at me and going, well, yours like 290 quid for a license. But yeah, Frankenstein, we've finished the night off with that, and about another 60 minutes of music after it, and it turned out to be really, really good. And it was a good choice. It was a good choice for the music that Charlie put together. If you guys are up there with more modern artists that are into old school sounding synth, so there's a guy out at the moment now. It's called Carpenter Brut. If you're aware of his stuff, he did the score for the I think it was like a 5-part miniseries called Blood Machines. If you've seen, which is really, really good. It was that kind of synth. Heavy bass line synth, sort of guitar synth. Yeah, it worked really, really well. And I would suggest if anybody's looking into do that kind of stuff, look at the old black and white sort of 30s, 40s, 50s sci-fi horror stuff and try modern synth over the top of it on a night. It works really well.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on maybe 15 years ago. Everybody had their little sound mix for some of these movies that either no dialogue or very little.
Yeah,
it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, we've another sort of company in Wigan. There's like a charitable organisation, and once a month they do a silent cinema. So they'll show 2 silent movies, which are not really my cup of tea, but they invite a band in. And what they do, they tell the band beforehand what 2 films are going to be showing, and then the band will put music to the 2 films in the night that's there, and apparently they work really well as well as. So, you know what I mean? These kind of nights do work. You'd think they'd be quite niche, but people just seem to get into it. You know what I mean? It's something a little different than that. So it's cool. It's cool to do something with a film that probably would never get shown at a screening. You know what I mean? I would have never thought about programming something like that before, but no, it worked really well. So,
well, some of these scores, these big band scores, kind of, you know, it's not helping at this point. Like earlier, I mentioned Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That orchestral score does not really help.
Yeah.
With the Like it feels very, very 90s, and it feels like a play almost.
Yeah.
In some spots. But if you're in the mood for that, great. But I mean, a new score would, I can see how that would benefit, bring new life to something like that.
Yeah. It was good. It was fun. Like I say, it was something different for us anyway. We'd never done anything like that prior to that. And it worked really well and people seem to like it. So
Plenty of stuff to do it with too. I mean, there's
it's loads.
All right. So Sydney asked this earlier. John or Bolden, name your 3 favorite movies and rate them.
Saturday Night Fever, number 1 for me. 5 out of 5 film.
Yeah.
People have this thing with Saturday Night Fever. It's just John Travolta in 2 dancing scenes. That's what everyone seems to remember. The film is actually really, really dark, and it's a really depressing film if you watch it. The storyline in it,
The family dynamic.
It's terrible about his family dynamic, about his whole friends. And the sort of stories that his friends are tied up in at a particular time. One of them's got a young woman pregnant. Two of the guys think that they want to be these tough guys, and one of them ends up getting filled in, nearly killed. One of them does end up dying.
Rated R version of Grease.
Yeah, it's like
all the bad stuff that they think is going to happen in Grease that doesn't happens in Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, John Travolta's chasing a girl in it that shows no interest in him at all. She's just teasing him along constantly. She's just using him. I mean, don't get me wrong, the score and the soundtrack is what everybody predominantly knows that film for. The opening scene with John Travolta swinging the paint can, all that thing, everyone knows that. Yeah, everyone knows it for the Bee Gees. Everyone knows it for 2 dance scenes that he does. Forget all that. I mean, that's good.
Back then, it wasn't gay to do the stuff that he was doing. Back then, that was the macho man.
Yeah, of course it was.
Guy would go and tear it up on the dance floor.
Yeah,
it was acceptable to dance.
Spend 30 hours on your hair and
on your hair.
Everything. That was what the manly men did.
Yeah. I mean, he's got he's got a picture of Al Pacino in his bedroom that he worships. You know what I mean? He's like, and he comes from an Italian family, a Christian, a Roman Catholic Italian family, and his brother is a priest. And his brother's saying, "Listen, I've sort of like fell out of love with God. I don't want to be a priest anymore." And John Travolta's like, Tony Manero was like, "Yeah, you my brother, do what you want to do. I don't particularly care." But the rest of the family sort of shunned him for it.
Yeah.
So Tony tries to take him under his wing and show him a good night out, and you know what I mean? It's really, really good. The sort of intertwined story that's in there is like one young man wants to break out from what he's doing, but really doesn't know how. But everyone just remembers it as this like sort of light-hearted, woo, disco. You know what I mean? It's not that at all. It's really dark.
New York movie. So what else would make the list?
For me, Face Off.
Of course. Yeah.
I think Face Off will go in there. That's just batshit crazy.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow, maybe. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Pulp Fiction would be on mine for sure.
Pulp Fiction, yeah. I mean, I've just got. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I've just got a massive.
Did you find out what was going on with that poster? Is it?
Yeah. So, one of them really wasn't with anything, so I've sort of like passed that one on. These are worth about. They're not what we thought they were, but they're worth about 35 to 40 quid a piece, which is like.
You should have taken the chance. Was the right move.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been. It's the Lucky. It's a copy of the Lucky Strike poster. Is that?
It is. And basically, what they did, it was the US one sheet of the Lucky Strike poster, the teaser poster, and somehow in the early 90s, HMV got those posters in from the US on a reprint. So it is the same poster that was in the US, but they were reprinted back in the day for HMV, hence the size, because sort of posters from a shop aren't that size anymore. They're not 27 by 40 or 27 by 41 like your guys' one sheets are. But predominantly that's what they are, you know what I mean? So framed with between 35 and 40 pound a piece. So I doubled my money on them, so it was fine.
it was worth the shot. Just
Yeah, the other one is Dust Till Dawn.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there was a Jackie Brown one as well, and the other one was the one sheet version of Reservoir Dogs, which that one. I mean, two of them at some point I'll end up at the club in the raffle. But Dust Till Dawn, I'm going to clean the frame up on that one, and I'm going to put that one up in here.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth
Yeah,
the
man.
shot.
I mean, I gave for all four framed. I think I give 70 for them. 60, 70 for all four.
Well, it was like a lottery ticket, though. I mean,
Yeah.
with the right poster, it would have been worth thousands. You know?
Yeah, and it was like I passed it on to someone I know who are predominantly buy, sell, and sell posters with, and this guy's like the guy to know, and even he was struggling with them. Like they were just bizarre. But the small markings on the bottom print that tells you, obviously, that it's just serial numbers. Basically, it could mean anything to anybody. But they found out off them they were reprints done for the UK, but for HMV back in the day, which you wouldn't get that kind of print anymore. But no, they're still cool. You know, they're legal.
Well, Rob Romano in the chat, he's a big poster guy. I know you're a huge poster guy too.
Yeah.
There's just not many of them out there that are huge, poster guys. I mean, Born to Be Fag, he's one, but who cares?
Yeah.
The guy can hang out wherever he hangs out.
Yeah.
John Travolta, Pulp Fiction, number one's a bullet. I mean, 4 out of 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Two other Carrie. I like Carrie. He's in that. Oh, I'd be struggling for a third one. Those are my favorites. What about you guys?
I would go with Blowout. Blowout's a good one.
Oh, Blowout, yeah. I've not seen that in years neither.
Another one that hasn't been mentioned, The General's Daughter. I thought that was really good.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Daughter. Yep.
What about you, Steve?
Pulp Fiction number 1, 4-star movie. Second would be The Fanatic, just because it's fucking bonkers. I'd say 3
Fanatic,
stars.
number 3, you're right.
And 2.5 stars, I'd say Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
You seen the Fanatic, Tony?
No, I don't think I have.
It's a fun movie.
That's me.
Tony's got it. He loved it. It's a Fred Durst movie. Fred Durst directed it.
All right, okay.
Very acquired taste, but
Yeah, it's weird, man. He's a mentally challenged stalker.
Right.
So there you go.
With a mullet.
In the movie.
And that's John Travolta's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he took it 1,000% serious. It wasn't,
Right.
It's not a comedy. There's some unintentional comedy, that's for sure.
I think that, like, his first words in the movie is something like, "Not now, I got poo."
Yeah,
like that.
He took it very, very serious. All right. Sydney's number 2, Rattlesnakes, 2018. Thriller, of course. Julie Simmons. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't even know any of those actors either.
No, I don't know that one either.
It's Mr. Thriller. Sydney's saying it's Hereditary, 3.5 out of 5. Solid for sure. I still think that's. I don't know. I'd probably give it 4 stars. I don't think I would put it in that elite tier of horror. Sydney saying Crimes of the Future 3 out of 5. It's a strange movie. Yeah, it's strange is not the word. What's her name? Kirsten Stewart is like oddly attracted to Viggo Mortensen, and she just starts like running her fingers into his mouth. It's just he gets a zipper installed in his stomach so he can get to his organs faster. I mean, it's very weird. It's odd. Sidney David Cronenberg's movies are hard to understand most times. You have to watch it, but you really got to beat it in your head. I believe so. He's saying Eastern Promise and History of Violence, both are excellent. They're not like that. He didn't write those. I would say The Fly, too, is also great that he did.
Yeah.
You don't need some big, explanation.
Yeah, if he's not doing the writing, usually it's very, you can understand what's going on.
Uniform and standard. He's a great director. He's just, I don't know, his writing is very bizarre. Tony, what were you going to say?
To say Crash, I did not like Crash.
can't even imagine that. Holland's a big fan of The Fanatic. All right, we're on the last one here. Let's see what Steve's last one is.
Let's see. I hadn't seen this in probably like 10 years or so I decided to revisit this.
Oh, dude,
Dead
it's
Set.
brilliant.
What is
It's
that?
brilliant.
It's like it was like a mini series that ran in the UK in 2008.
Yeah.
There were like
So-
5 episodes.
Yeah.
First one was
So
like, go ahead.
yeah. So are you familiar with a reality TV show called Big Brother?
Yeah.
Okay, so that started in the UK. Dead Set is basically a rip-off of Big Brother. And contestants go to this house. They're basically locked in this house that's inside a compound. There are TV cameras on them 24/7. They're filming everything they do, and everything's hunky-dory. And then outside of the compound, and a virus breaks out and starts to turn people into zombies. And then everybody inside the compound can see what's happening, but no one can get in, no one can get out. And it's weird, like the compound's there, and then there's another wall, and then the house that everyone's living in. So shit's still being filmed 24/7. It's never gone off. And slowly but surely, the virus makes its way into the compound and then into the house. Then all hell breaks loose. It's really good. A TV show host called Davina McCall from the UK takes one of the main roles, and she's supposed to be like the TV presenter on that fake reality TV show that the show is. And she gets absolutely butchered in it. She just gets annihilated. It's really, really good. It was made by Channel 4 and Film 4 Film. Yeah, it was a 4-part or 5-part miniseries, but then
Yeah,
I
5.
think on the DVD that was released of it, you get it as one continuous long sort of like film where they've just put it all together. It's really good, really, really good. I'm glad somebody outside of the UK has picked that up, dude, because it's one that doesn't get talked about enough or shown much love, because basically it was a TV show, but I think it's filmed so well and the subject matter is so good that it worked really, really well. It's cool.
Yeah,
It kind of got buried like after like Dawn of the Dead and
Zombie
Shaun of the
Overlord.
Dead, like all the zombie
Yeah.
shit. I think it might have been like right before The Walking Dead or something.
I mean, we
started.
still got zombie fatigue over here. It was zombies for years and years and years. So that's probably
Yeah.
why it kind of got buried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like one of the first like fast moving zombies ones.
Yeah.
Really good gore, really good performances. It's pretty funny. Like I don't know, the most like recognizable face is what is it, Riz Ahmed, the guy that played the gopher in Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Like his buddy that
Oh,
I don't know,
the guy
his
works
errand
for
boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a solid watch. I don't know. I don't think it's ever been released on Blu-ray. I don't know why.
No, I mean that's it. That's the only release of it on anything really. If you desire a better version of it, there is a better version in the UK. If you go to, you may be able to get Film 4's streaming service if you use a VPN in the US. And there is a high definition version of it on on Film 4 Channel 4 on their streaming service. So maybe at some point, you know what I mean, somebody might do a bootleg off that and do a rip directly from that. But that's the best way I've seen it, and the best way I have quality wise come across it is off Film 4's or Channel 4 streaming service. But really, really good, really underestimated how good that was. And at the time when it came out, for Channel 4 to do something like that was a little bit different, because like Big Brother was like it was a massive thing. It was a huge thing when it first came out, and they sold it to like 57 other countries. They've made billions off it. It's still running today. You know what I mean? It's been running for years and years and years. So to use that as the template to set this horror zombie scenario thing round was quite cool. It piqued people's interest.
And it's brutal too.
Oh God, yeah, it is. Yeah,
It'd be nice if 101 Films Black Label would put that out on a nice set.
yeah. I mean, I
Love to
think,
watch
yeah, I think if anybody was to do it, 101 would probably do it because they put Ghostwatch out.
that.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And Ghostwatch was predominantly a similar kind of thing, and they did a really good job with that release of Ghostwatch. So, yeah, I mean, 101, if they could pick it up, you know what I mean? That would be pretty cool. I would imagine through Channel 4 or Film 4, you know what I mean? It's up for grabs. It must be quite easy and cheap to get hold of a license for that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. It sounds like 28 Days Later kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's got that very British feel about it.
It was like a lot of shaky cam, like a lot of like documentary style filming.
Well, the new 28 Years Later just wrapped, and apparently it's all shot on a phone.
There's
On an
two
iPhone.
coming
It's two.
apparently.
There's
Oh,
two.
okay.
Now, a bit earlier on, you see the TSL podcast chat pop up.
Mhm.
Well, Darren and Frank, who run the podcast, who run that YouTube channel, Darren works for Sony, and he's been doing some PR stuff for both films. And they've just finished wrapping. I mean, they had like a village in Yorkshire, I think, somewhere like wrapped up for about 2 months while there was filming in this village. And yeah, it was all filmed off an iPhone 6. Oh, well, multiple iPhone 6s. So, and apparently it looks brilliant. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, neither of the first two have like crazy cinematic quality. There's a weird
At all. The first one doesn't. Yeah.
Well, the second one is almost the same thing where the night scenes are really at day and they make it look like night the same way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, certain shots of the second one are brilliant, especially where he's running down the riverbank, trying to get away from right at the beginning. It looks great as it keeps panning out and then drawing back out from it. And but yeah, I mean that should be pretty cool to see those two come out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those.
All right, Tony, what was your number one here?
Well, my last
look at
one that I watched is Witches in the Woods.
okay.
Cool.
Scream Factory.
And yeah, Scream Factory. It was terrible. About 5 young people going out on a snowboarding trip, and they get off the. They have to take a detour, and they go the wrong way, and end up getting stranded in the snow in these woods. It's apparently possessed by witches. First of all, you don't see any witches. All you see is a bunch of kids bickering back and forth, and it was the worst movie, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. A waste of my time. Do not recommend it. So that was that. But it does have a nice slipcover release.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's the annoying young people.
So you would not recommend that one?
I would not recommend
1 out of 5?
1/2 star
A half star
out of 5.
out of 5. That's pretty bad. That's the lowest rating you can actually give it. All right. My last two is double feature. I watched this Deadstream, and maybe want to watch this one, revisit this one. I'll talk about this one first. The Deep House from 2021. It's a movie about two YouTubers, or a YouTuber and his girlfriend that are looking for haunted attractions. I don't remember exactly what it's not important, but they decide that they're going to dive to this house in a lake in France that is supposedly untouched, that was flooded. And I don't remember if it's quite that they were looking for. I don't think they were looking for paranormal activities. They're looking for stuff to explore underwater for their YouTube channel.
For a documentary channel, yeah.
Or, a YouTube series or whatever. And they're covered in GoPros, and they have a GoPro drone that goes underwater with them. And they go to this house way in the middle of nowhere, France, that's underwater, and supposedly that was flooded years ago, and everything's pristine. in it, and it's all their YouTube dreams are coming true, and they're going to make millions off this video, and they're very, very excited. And it turns out it's haunted, and they get trapped in the house. I won't go any further than that because I feel like so few people have seen it. It's a really good movie. Really surprised me. Jason Werner, Body Count Rising, his channel recommended it years ago. Finally got around to watching it. Really enjoyed it. This is the second time I watched it. Really cool effects, and it's all one big set that they built underwater, and they
Cool.
speak everything. It's a very big production. Deep House. It's the same guys that did Inside, and they're famous French directors. Alexandre Bustillo and Julian Marius, the directing team. They're really good, and like I said, I enjoyed it. Kind of shining elements, but not near as good, obviously. But very interesting and practical. Actually, putting people underwater, the whole bit. Pretty good.
It looks really cool.
It looks really, really good, and the water's crystal clear, and I don't know, something about the way the GoPros and all that stuff. I really enjoyed it.
So is that reversible art?
Yeah, this is the reverse art from.
So the other artwork's like a teal color.
Yeah, it's like really dark
Okay.
with like an outline of the house.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to figure out where it was. Yeah, that's it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is the reverse from. I don't know what's the. It's a German release.
Mhm.
Turbine. Yeah, Turbine Media.
Turbine. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, and Universal produced it and gave these guys some money, and I just like that these guys are getting their due after all these years, and they're getting to spend some money and make the movies that they want to make. And but the first one I watched was this one, Deadstream 2022, I think, 2022. It is a movie about a YouTuber that goes to a haunted house, and things go very wrong. But same kind of premise, you know, they'll do anything for likes. I don't know what's under this. Yeah, this guy. That's the YouTuber that decides he's going to go and check out this haunted. He's going to spend the night in the haunted house. And apparently, you know, he had got into some shenanigans. He got in trouble. He got his channel taken down, and he just gets his channel back. And this is what he's going to do to. It's a big YouTuber, big channel, a lot of views, and he goes and decides he's going to spend the night in this haunted house, like I said, and all hell breaks loose. 100% practical effects, kind of like Evil Dead vibes to the point
Right.
of the zaniness and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. You kind of hate this character right away, and it's fun to see him take it on the chin the whole movie. I enjoyed it a lot. And Dr. Ordinary, Ryan Allen's buddy in Florida, he recommended this to me when we did a found footage stream, and I bought it on his recommendation. It took me about a year to get through, so on their blind buys to get to it, but really glad I did. Perfect time of year for it. I've seen it twice now, and yeah, just like I said, I'm not explaining it well. Just watch it, man. It's just a lot of fun, and it's not boring. It's not slow. It's just a blast.
Cool.
You would love it, Tony.
Did you say that you watched that Soul Eater movie that they did too?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm interested in it. There's a new 4K
Yeah.
Soul Eater. I'm going to check that out, but
Yeah,
it
I've
looks
been able
pretty
to find it anywhere.
I'm guaranteeing you it's a Turbine 4K, and Orbit will have it. I'd bet money on it. All
Right.
Tony, one here.
Bizarrely for me, my next one was on streaming, which is a bit odd, but there we go. And
Get out of the chat here. Hang on. We're streaming. God, you are
yeah, it was odd, but it's the only way to get this film to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's a film called Mr. Crockett. For you guys in the US, it was a Hulu exclusive. For us over here, it was a Disney Plus. And it is about a 70s children's TV show host who hosted a sort of like kids educational show in the 70s that was like a bit Sesame Street-esque. There we go. That's him, Mr. Crockett.
Of course you are. What is
And yeah, it's honestly, it's one of the most weirdest horror movies I've ever seen. So this guy's like quite famous in his own right, and he's got these whole sort of like slew of episodes and shows in the 70s. And in the 80s, he starts to like dwindle away a bit. By the time the 90s have come, the guy's no longer on TV. But he was a major hit. It was a major star back in the day, and he's just completely forgotten. But at the beginning of the film, it shows you some sort of like child neglect or child abuse by a particular family, and when the angle of the camera cuts away from the family that are at the dining table, it sort of cuts back to the living room, and there's a VHS copy of Mr. Crockett, of one of the TV shows, and something starts to happen, and the TV comes on, and the VCR sort of pops on, and then out of it, the flap of the VCR opens, and some hands come out of it, and then eyes appear, and Mr. Crockett comes out, and somehow he's managed to sort of possess these videotapes, and he comes to the aid of children that are being neglected or abused by parents. And what he does, he kills the parents quite brutally in the way that they're abusing the child, and then he takes the child away for safety. Or what he thinks he's doing is the right thing, but what he's actually doing isn't the right thing. He's just fucking butchering everybody. So the story goes, one child goes missing. This mother sees what happens with Mr. Crockett. She tells the police and other people. They think she's crazy. They ignore her. They just say a child's run away, and that's that. But they can't explain the death of a husband. And then years and years later, this thing starts happening again. And so the story goes on, and it just goes absolutely batshit. Some of the kills in it are just phenomenally fun and over the top gore. The sort of everything's done in camera. If you can imagine a kids' TV show from the 70s, I mean, these kind of presenters always had like sidekicks with them, whether they were puppets, whether they were people dressed up in costumes. Well, that's exactly the same for Mr. Crockett, only now once you get into Mr. Crockett's world with inside the tape, shit's not as rosy as it was. It's all a bit demented and twisted, and it's good. It's full of practical effects. I mean, it's loaded with practical effects. It's short at about 89 minutes, I think. It's an ideal streaming kind of film. Whether it'll ever get any kind of release, with it being Hulu, it may do in the US. Over here in the UK, it would be in Disney Plus. The chances are slim to none. But I would suggest giving it a watch. It's quite light-hearted, even though it's on a dark subject or a dark subject matter. The film itself is quite light-hearted, and we found ourselves like laughing at it. Even though some of the kills are really brutal in it, and they are gory, the whole story and the finale to it, it's dark but funny with it at the same time. So definitely worth a watch. However you get it, it looks good. It feels like when it first starts, it feels like it's in the 70s, and then it does predominantly feel like a 90s film as it gets into the main film of it. But I just came across it by sheer chance. You know what I mean? I don't watch much streaming stuff. We do have Disney Plus. But two Welsh guys we know who have a channel called Twisted Locker, they were talking about it, and they said they'd enjoyed it. So we went to check that out, and it's actually really, really good. It's really entertaining. You know what I mean? It's one of those films you could put on with a load of buddies around the house, get a few beers in or something to eat, and watch it and have a laugh, really. You know what I mean? You don't really have to engage your brain with it too much. You can just take it for what it is, but it is fun. You know what I mean? That if you can watch the trailer for it, sets it up really well. There's two trailers. One of them feels predominantly like an episode of Sesame Street, and then the other trailer is more like dark and twisted, and that's the way the story ends up in the film. It starts off like Sesame Street and just ends up this like weird, twisted, like demonic hell at the end. Yeah, Mr. Crockett, it's really, really good.
Yeah, we don't get those Hulu titles on
I think that one came out in the States.
all the like all physical media. I mean,
No, not on physical
Yeah.
media, but it's on
We-
Hulu.
we don't get
Yeah.
those Hulu titles on physical media for some reason. Like, there's a movie called The Special that Vinicio recommended to me that I would love to get on physical media, but I believe it's a Hulu title, and
Yeah.
might look for that one. It's pretty crazy, pretty disgusting. You might like that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, my wife sort of like deals with the streaming stuff more than I do. You know, she can't be bothered coming in this room and trawling through thousands of films to try and find something to watch.
Yeah.
It's just easier for her to just pick something on streaming. So luckily we have, you know what I mean, we've got Netflix and we've got Disney Plus. And if I ever look for anything on there, I can never find anything. You know what I mean? I can never bother trawling through it all just to try and find something to watch. But like I said, that was a recommendation. We checked it out, and it is actually really funny. It's a good film.
Yeah, that sounds good. It kind of put me in the mind of what's that movie with the tapes? God damn it! Guy puts in the tapes, and they're like his imaginary friend, almost. We did it on the WTF. I can never think of that name of that movie, but kind of reminds me of that. But
Yeah, there's it's like I say, it's hard to explain. If you watch the trailer, it will sum the film up for you, without giving too much away. But it is fun. It is batshit crazy. But there's probably like 3 major kills in it, and they're quite gruesome, but they're quite inventive as well at the same time. It's something that you've never seen. And what he tends to do, he tends to kill the parent in the way that they've been sort of like mentally torturing their child. So one guy won't let his child leave the table before he's ate his vegetables on his plate, and he's like really going to town on this kid about what he's eating. And then Mr. Crockett turns up and just fills this guy full of veg till he explodes. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, the movie I was thinking of is Rent-A-Pal, where the
right, yeah.
Will
the
Wheaton.
kind of a part of it.
Yeah, Will Wheaton, yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, it is. But you guys, has anybody seen this one? You guys seen this one, Deadstream?
No.
Think I have.
Yeah. Tony, I think you might be able to stream this on Shudder. I don't know if you can get Shudder in the UK, but
Yeah, we got Shudder.
it's a fun one, man. But all practical effects, the whole bit.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Sydney, wrap up the chat and get out of here. Number 1, Out of the Blue, 2006. Okay. There's about 5 movies called Out of the Blue. I searched it. I couldn't find it. But Carl Urban.
I likes me a bit of Carl Urban.
4 out of 5, man. So I guess he's been busy with The Boys. That's probably why we don't see more of him doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's over now, right? The Boys, it's done?
No, I think it's got one more season.
One more season? Okay.
He's definitely got a film coming up, because I'm sure I've seen a recent trailer with him in a film, and he's looking really old in it as well. I can't think what it was, but no, I do like Carl Urban. You know what I mean?
We just need
Yeah.
more. We need more.
Yeah.
If you look at his career, man, he has had a crazy career. He's always number 2, maybe number 3 here and there, Pathfinder and whatnot. But
Yeah.
man, he Chronicles of Riddick and
Yeah.
just a million roles, and you don't realize how prolific he is until you sit down and actually look at his resume.
I mean, he was in all 3 Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dredd, man, that's just a role.
Dredd's amazing film.
He's done such a good job in that.
Yeah.
I believe we don't have more. And it just, I think they know that it doesn't really matter how old he gets because he's going to be in the helmet. So we'll do that Dredd movie. Do all these while you're still, kind of handsome.
Yeah.
We'll put you back in the helmet when you get a little older or something, or if you get in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
We'll just do that then.
Yeah.
X-Team Featurette. Everybody's saying hi. Did like Crimes of the Future. Okay, good. Figured as much. Everybody's saying hey. Wild Wrangler, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Drug not kicked in yet, so he's still cogent. Happy Halloween. Yep, it is Halloween. That's why Alan's not here. He's at Ryan's house right now. They're handing out candy and watching The Substance. I think that's what he told me they're going to watch.
Cool.
Nice.
Tony, did you see The Substance?
I did. I liked it.
Yeah, that's body horror.
Yeah,
It's,
that's how to do it.
yeah, that's
That's the way to do it.
I know you saw it in the theater, Tony. I remember you saw
Yeah,
your
we did. Yeah,
theater video, but it's very female oriented. I watched it. I left it off this list because it is so new, and I don't want to color anybody's. I don't want to keep somebody from seeing it, or whatever. I don't want to get the expectations too high. Just go see it.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk
yeah.
about
Just
it
watch
later.
it.
Yeah, watch it and have fun with it. But little more on the female oriented side.
Oh, 100%. It's all about female vanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
All about female vanity.
being aged out, and there's a lot of heavy themes in there. But
It's not necessarily crammed down your throat,
No,
though, you
no.
know.
No, it's how the way that we took it was that it's about female vanity, but it's not how men perceive women. It's how women perceive women.
Themselves,
It's how women were perceiving each other and themselves.
Well,
And they've got this overall drive to stay young and beautiful, when in reality, men just don't care about that.
Well, it's like I don't know if they do it over in the UK, but here the nail culture,
Oh, God, yeah.
nails done. What man watched a girl walk by and go, elbowed their buddy and gone, did you see her nails?
Look at her nails.
Look at those nails. No man cares about that. That's for each other. They want to show off for each other and impress each other, and that is a heavy theme. Good comeback role for
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore.
Not Moore, the boss.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
Quaid.
Man, he's chewing the scenery in this one. He's kind of
Oh yeah.
Was pounding them prawns down.
slamming the trim. I'm watching that movie and I'm thinking, what if Brandon Cronenberg did this? What would it be like? It seemed like it kind of almost a no-brainer for him, or even his dad had to have done this, but it still came out good, I thought. But
Yeah, it's really entertaining. There was about 8 or 9 of us went watching that from the club. And one of the women that comes with us, she had to get up and leave. We got about 2/3 of the way in. She couldn't stomach anymore. She had to go.
I talked to Alan a little bit about it. I was like, man, I used to watch it. Do not watch it with your wife. She does not like horror, and as he puts it, she don't like all that bursting. I was she's burst into the seams. This one. Paul Wrangler says nails. Yeah. 16. I've got blinged out claws. Yeah, that's the whole. Catch Chad and get out of here. As we've just I didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. And we're just like, explosions, blood.
Yeah,
But Demi Moore's really good in it too. But
she's brilliant in it.
Dennis Quaid, he's been gone for a while. He did I guess he's been involved in this movie called Reagan for a long time.
Yeah, it was in this theater at the same time.
Yeah, I saw Reagan.
So he's tied up with that for years. He hasn't been involved, and he comes back and does this. I don't know. I kept thinking like Crank 2. There's just so much weird shit going on with this movie, the way it's shot. And,
yeah, it's loads of fun though.
Wild Wrangler. Watch 1031 film, Creeping Death, The Barn Part 2, Late Night with the Devil, and Halloween 7. That's an eclectic list. You got indies.
Yep.
I guess they're all kind of indies. Creeping Death. I don't think I've seen that one, but I know there's 1031 and Barn movies. Late Night with the Devil. I got to finish that again. I've seen it 1.5 times. It just kind of always kind of end up,
I haven't checked it out yet though.
wanting to turn it off. I don't know. For some reason, it just kind of drags for me. But
It does. Yeah. I don't know what the big hype is on it.
I mean, it does. It seems to be paying off, and then I'm just like, I have finished it. I know once. I don't remember a lot about it, and I started watching it again, and I got about 60% through, and I was like, give me crap like this. Something that's actually gonna move.
It's just not cohesive enough. Like it's not filmed cohesively. Like the way it shifts, I don't know, like point of view, I guess, or
We get a big backstory at the beginning too. Like, oh, he was killing it in the ratings, but he was always number 2, and it's just like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need a 20-minute monologue about what the show was beforehand to enjoy the story. It just, I don't know, a little weird. It felt like it could have been what are those bloody disgusting VHS? It could have been a VHS segment.
Yeah.
Wrangler Brad, Deadstream Ghost picking the guy's nose. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. You know, some of the effects aren't the greatest, but for the money that they had and the effort is really there, and it's all shot on GoPros and it's all spliced together, and it kicks like a movie like Host. It kicks that movie's ass. I mean, it's just a lot more fun and a lot more. It's not like it's fast. I don't know. That's the best word for it, but
Right.
It's got nards.
yeah. Tony, what do you got coming up for Halloween as far as videos? Or you've already done them all, basically?
Yeah, I have. I've already got them all done.
Tony's been doing top 10s. He's over there stealing our shit. You do top 5s, Tony. What are you going to do? Top 10s because it's twice as good?
Well, think about this. Those top 10s were from 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I just reworked them, and it's kind of like an archive type.
Well, you can do whatever you want. You could come.
Right.
Tony could do a last 5. I wouldn't complain. Tony could start a stream called "What the heck is this?" That wouldn't bother me. But there's a lot of that going on. I hear a lot of complaining about people copying each other now. Like, oh man, can't be copying me. And then that same channel will do somebody else's shit.
Everything's been thought of before.
Of course it does.
Everybody's done something.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, there's fucking millionaires doing the exact same things. You know what I mean? At some point, shit's got to cross over. It's
your own
impossible
spin
for
on
not
it.
to.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me that I got a of course private message without a picture from somebody saying that your streams are just copying oh God, what's the guy? Ending Explained or whatever his name is. And I'm like, I just type it in. I'm like, his are better.
Yeah, he's got like clips fucking edited in. Like,
These are actually good. I'm honored. I'm flattered that ours are anywhere as good as 2 hours of nonsense. We just
quit ripping off Tarantino, Brad.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, great. I'm glad.
We're on to you.
They got us. Nailed us.
I'll be on my 5th live stream tomorrow night.
Really? Where
For
you
the
been
week.
streaming that?
For the
I haven't
week.
seen you on any live streams?
Tomorrow night I'll be on Gizmo's channel. We'll be talking about our top 10 horror films from 2000 to 2009.
Oh,
Sweet.
okay.
We kind of been going through the decades. This is my 2nd episode on that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen you doing any streaming anywhere, but I guess I'm just missing it.
Yeah. Like I said, it'll be my 5th one tomorrow night, and then I'm going to take a hiatus.
You're gonna take a hiatus. Tony's closed for business. I didn't know you were streaming so much, or I probably wouldn't have reached
No,
out
I
to you
don't
for
mind.
this.
I don't mind. Hopefully, I wasn't too dull.
Yeah, yeah, you'll do it. That's not the point. It's supposed to be fun, and like I hadn't seen you do any streaming, so I didn't know that you were so busy this month. But
It's okay.
Horror icon Tony that people keep asking to do anything. Yeah, that's anyway, I won't go into that. But Tony, you got, I don't know, have you already done the double feature this month, or you
No, so next double feature will be November now, which we are doing. It's called November, and we're showing. What are we showing? We're showing Garbage Pail Kids, and we're showing
the live band at the. Is that why you're calling it that? Blur's going to be the live band at the venue.
I wish I had the money to boot Blur. Yeah, we're showing Garbage Pail Kids and Troll.
Okay.
So we've got that coming up. We've got some more review stuff coming from Omniplex Cinema, because we've sort of got in with those guys now, which is quite cool. We've got other club members that are starting to do little reviews. Once they've done them, they're sort of passing them over to me, and I'm editing them up from them, chucking them on the channel. More stuff with me and Dave, where you'll find me and Dave doing stupid sort of like we'll choose a film in a particular stupid sort of like made up genre. So if you saw the last one we did road trip films, but we filmed it from Dave's car while I was traveling to a con. So just stupid things, or the one where me and Dave were sat in this room and two of us in here. It was that hot that I had to open the window and the doors. You know what I mean? Imagine two of you in this size. It's like the size of a shoebox. So we've got that coming up. I've got some more inside the archive stuff that I filmed. We've got another con coming up as well towards the end of the year at Preston, so I'll be filming that one as well as. There's quite a few bits coming up, and then as we roll into Christmas, it'll be a big Christmas party for the club again. So there'll be more things going on there, and then into the new year.
Christmas one will be good.
We choose something stupid normally for Christmas. We did Scrooge last year and the Christmas Martian. Christmas Martian is a bizarre French Canadian film from 1978. If you've ever seen it, I think Vinegar Syndrome put it out in the States. Bizarre film that they used to show over here at Christmas time. Well, this year I'm not sure what the solid Christmas film is going to be, but the stupid film, second film on my choice is going to be Santa Claus versus the Martians. If you know that one,
of course, everyone knows that one.
No.
Hell no.
Check that one out.
Over there, horror film on gypsy culture. Over there, that needs to be done like this. There's a movie called The Vigil over here. It's on Jewish culture. They should do a gypsy horror film.
Just call it Pikey.
With their Pikey, one word. This is what their weird phobia is, or something needs to happen with that. But,
maybe me and Dave could sort something out.
Yeah. You can find Steve on Instagram with, non-praying mantis _78. Subscribe, comment, all those things to those guys' channels, especially Tony's. We need to be pushing hard for Tony to get 10,000 for
10,000, yeah.
10 years, it's time.
He's got the content.
Live streaming with all these B and loser channels, that's not going to get you there. I think you need to do more stuff like you're doing with these top 10s and more Tony's opinions and stuff. People like that.
Just trying to find the time to do everything. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Well, we're gonna hit the button. It's been 3 hours, so we'll see whatever's next. We'll see you on the next thing.
Yep.
Happy Halloween.
Take care, everybody. See you later.
Eventually, it will end. I don't know what the hell is going on.